People are so angry. Wow. Wow. All right, let me get set up here. Hey, doing our best. People are so angry. Wow. Wow. Hey, people. All right, let me get set up here. Audio sounds good. Look at the Swiss team and the little tiny flag. Look at that little tiny flag. It's because the template I had was square, not rectangular for that one, and I made it for one thumbnail, and it's gonna be fine. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hey. Just getting some stuff ready. Leaving you on the bracket for a bit while people gather. So first up is going to be Team America World Police versus the Swiss. Okay, I'll pull that up. Or cat cam, dog cam. Cat cam would be up in the bedroom, sleeping on the bed. Dog cam, I don't know, probably with Grace. Probably with Grace. Post cat pictures. Okay. Okay. Add image. Okay. Browse images. I have to. I do have a bone to pick. So I gotta find this fast, pick the bone, and then go. Pictures. Updated phone. There you go. That's what you get. What you get is just a giant cat. It tickles me. All right, enough cat. Enough cat. Get out of here, cat. Oh. Okay, so real quick before getting into the stream today, I was thinking about making a whole video and having today's video released would say like, did I make the worst tier list of all time? And going back and defending my artillery tier list because there are certain people that just frickin' hated it. I don't understand. Now, it's funny because I take issue with both sides. Here's the thing, is there were campaign players that would come in and say, is this a multiplayer only tier list? Because it better be, because you're wrong about everything. And then there were my defenders, which I appreciate them a lot, coming in and saying, yes, it's a multiplayer tier list. And I'm sitting there like, it was meant to be objective. It was meant to be, this is objectively better than the other one. And like, so I kind of disagree with both sides, but like, there were certain people saying my list should be flipped entirely. And I was like, what are you talking about? The Thunder Tusk and Skull Cannon are an S tier. Frickin' High Elf Bolt Throwers are in D tier. People are like, nah, High Elf Bolt Throwers are super OP. They're crazy amazing. And it's like, are you on drugs? Like, listen, literally, like, lived experience. I don't care what lord traits you have and whatever. My friends and I, we're playing again tonight. He's playing the Skull Taker campaign. I'm playing Karl Franz. But in some of his battles, he's had to cheese it out with 2 Skull Cannons. And he's against like a 20 stack of Savage Orcs and Goblins. And we can kill the whole 20 stack with 2 Skull Cannons by cycle charging to get ammo back, retreating, firing, cycle charging. And when something routs, you chase it to get full ammo back. And we get like 6,000 gold damage value. 2 bolt throwers can't do that. Screw it, I'll give you 4. 4 bolt throwers can't do that. 4 bolt throwers get run over. Skull cannons and thunder tusks can solo entire armies. What are you telling me this list has to be flipped? Even in campaign, that's insane. That's nonsense. Bolt throwers are not better than the skull cannon. And then people are like, organ guns are crazy OP. All right, bet. Same thing. I'll take 5 organ guns versus a 20 stack of orcs. They'll still get overrun. 1 Thunder Tusk with proper cycle charging and kiting could kill that whole orc stack in campaign. I don't know what you're talking about with this list needs to be flipped. And then also I feel like some of them didn't fully understand the premise of the video where it's saying how strong are these units, where they're like, nah, dude, this list needs to be flipped. Vampire Coast mortars are better than the Casket of Souls. What? You what? If you need an artillery unit that can fire up and come back down and demolish archers, I would take the Casket of Souls every day over a Vampire Coast mortar. What are you saying? You are crazy people! I don't care if it's campaign or multiplayer. One of these is just better! Ugh. I was losing my mind reading that. And then there were the arguments of like, well, if you have these 5 lord traits and a master engineer and 6 technologies and you position the organ gun just right and the AI bugs out so they don't come and fight your organ gun is pretty overpowered. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like the organ gun's overpowered. That sounds like that lord trait is overpowered. The hero trait is overpowered, the tech tree is overpowered, and then you abusing the AI. That doesn't mean the unit is good. That doesn't mean anything. What's a better weapon? A shotgun or a Nerf bat? Well, you see, I took a Nerf bat against like Mike Tyson while he was asleep, and I hit him a bunch of times and he didn't wake up. And that's kind of like killing him, so the Nerf bat is better. If I use the shotgun, he might wake up. No! It doesn't make the Nerf bat better. You construed circumstances where the Nerf bat, I guess, kind of works. But on its own, just take the shotgun. Ugh. Reading through those comments was hilarious. I also got a lot of dislikes, which was sad. It's really understandable they would say that considering you didn't explain the premises. Again, that's all artillery, not usefulness on their home roster at the start. Well, that's true. I didn't explain exactly that. And I'm using sarcasm. Anyway. Thanks, Lil Trell. Next time, forget the flags. Okay. That's enough time. People have gathered. Silly rant to fill time is over. We have World Cup stuff to do. Welcome. It's been a big tournament. We had a lot of teams sign up. It's been a lot of fun. Time for the final big stream. Top 4. Team America versus Switzerland. Mexico versus France. We will start with Team America versus Switzerland. If you have not seen any of our World Cup coverage thus far, very quick explanation of the format. We got together 5 people for each team. On the left side, we have Gotrek, Starbreaker, Flying Taco, Ryder, Rohan, Stratgame, and Turin. Yes, that Turin. On the other side for the Swiss, we have Olaf, Demus, Sepa, Zypher, Pigman 202, and Solisora. It is a mix of land battles, conquest, and domination. Each team coming into the tournament got to ban one faction from being played by either side. They had to ban this for the whole tournament. They did not pick it per opponent. Looks like Team USA does not want to see Demons of Chaos at all, and Team Swiss does not want to see Dwarves at all, so neither of those will be picked. All 5 games get played no matter what. It doesn't matter if you are 3-0 by the time you get to Ryder, Rohan, and Zypher. Stratgame, Pigman, and Turin, Solisora will still play, because in real life, these games were played as the players had time to play them, so Turin versus Solisora might have been first. But I'll still cast them top to bottom, because that just makes sense visually, right? Right. So it could be a 5-0, could be a 4-1, could be a 3-2. We're casting all the games regardless. Anything else I'm missing? No, that's about it. Teams are considered one... Oh, that's it. Teams are considered one person. So, like, if Gotrek picks Empire, Taco can't pick Empire, Ryder, Rohan can't pick Empire, Stratgame can't pick Empire. So the teams did have to coordinate. We're like, okay, Flying Taco's really good at Ogres. We want him to play Ogres, right? That kind of thing. This is Sweaty Tryhard. There is a prize on the line that people want. So you will see a lot of similar factions and similar builds. That's because people are trying their best to win. Okay, at the top I'll have a scorecard of consistency, so let's figure out... The Swiss sent me the replays. Yes. So at the top I'm going to have... Switzerland. 0. Whoa, no! I separated out Berserk's name! Team America. 0. Cool. We were looking for Olaf the Moose first. I don't remember who his opponent was offhand, but I remember I'm looking for Olaf. There we go. Gotrek and Olaf. Wait a second. Gotrek's not on on Switzerland? No! Okay, the first one, the scorecard's gonna be backwards, but I'm not gonna change it for one game. I think campaign consider you get experience for free pretty quickly. I agree with disagree with rock battlers in deep tier for campaign. No, Freaka, that's lies. That's cap. Rocket batteries still suck. And to start us off, we have a Lizardmen Mirror. Gotrek Starbreaker with a very small build. 4 skink cohorts, Lord Mazdamundi with Apotheosis and Net, and then we have a Solar Engine and the Shredder of Lustria, backed up by 4 Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas. On the other side, for Olaf the Moose, we have a skink cohort frontline, but then Cold One Spear Riders and Horned Ones. Krokgar on his Horned One mount. Hey, Krokgar. And we have a Skink Oracle. Ooh, that's actually going to be really good here. Skink Oracle with Flock of Doom and Earthblood, and then their own Solar Engine with some more Cold One Spear Riders. The Skink Oracle is going to get so much value, because there's nothing that can really threaten him. He's going to be able to just shoot for free this whole time. He'll probably use all of his ammo on the Shredder of Lustria. Because they know Mazdamundi's going to spam Apotheosis, and they just accept they have to get through that health. Nice banishment from Mazda, though, on top of the Horned Riders and the Cold One Spear Riders. Horned Ones, whatever. Now, Cold Ones in this patch have gotten buffs. They have nice elliptical unit formations. They're good at getting damage out, but they're still not the best at surrounding a really big dinosaur-type monster and getting damage out. That might come to haunt the red team. Red team is immediately blitzing out all of the skink cohorts. These guys are super dead, and it'll come down to just a single entity blob for the green side, which I am very concerned about. Ooh, nice Ruination of Cities. Let's see if it has good RNG. No, it had very unfortunate RNG as it missed everything constantly. But anyway, I think the red team is going to be okay with using their Skink Oracle to just get a ton of damage out and then cycle charging it as best they can. Skink Oracle needs to get back on target. I really do think he needs to focus down the Shredder, because you just flat out know the Shredder of Lustria is going to heal cap, so just get that damage out while you can. Skink Oracle somehow manages to miss the Shredder of Lustria because it's too small of a target for him, apparently. Okay. So, why exactly, Mr. Skink Oracle, are you so bad at this? He's missed 2 in a row. I want to see the third. I have to see it. Okay, that one hit. You are so terrible. There comes Apotheosis. Krokgar is dueling with the Shredder. It is on fire, so it's only going to get half the healing of that Apotheosis. I'm actually going to net Krokgar in a bad position. I think, like, yeah, Gotrek just wants to make sure he stays in the fight with the Shredder, but then the Shredder gets distracted by some skink skirmishers. Fire Leech Bolas are firing in completely unimpeded, and that might be a bit of a problem as they're punishing these blobs of skinks. Solar Engine's getting a little low. Mazdamundi's getting low from something. Shredder's getting poked down quite a bit. Skink Oracle's continuing to fire. He is concerningly almost out of ammunition already, which is a pretty big problem. Fire Leech Bowlers still have a ton. Nice Hand of the Gods. The red team does not have a lot left. One cavalry was held in reserve, so they're about to enter the fight full HP. And very little to stop them from fully surrounding these dinosaurs, but it looks like rock drops are getting positioned, so I imagine these guys are going to get bombed out very quickly by rock drops and apparently a banishment and Fire Leech Bolas, so the Cold Wind Spreaders are going to take an unholy amount of fire. And they're all dead. That was quick. Shredder of Lustria getting lower and lower. Solar Engine fighting Krokkar for now. As Krokkar does get netted, he is also going to get a quick heal, and the Skink Oracle only has 5 shots left and needs to use them well. And I wonder, there's the Shredder's heal cap. It has appeared, but it's very far away. If there's a lot more Apotheosis is coming his way before he routes or something, that'll be problematic. Mazda throws out a quick Ruination of Cities on a random Skink Skirmisher because he doesn't have a lot of targets left to use it on, so you might as well use it on just a cheap little Skink Skirmisher. It honestly makes sense. Skink Oracle down to 2 shots left. He's going to use them on Mazda. Spreading out the damage a little bit is concerning. He's gotten all the damage onto good targets. I just worry that he's going to finish nothing, and then Mazda will slowly Apotheosis his way back to full. Hey, there's an Apotheosis. Skink Oracle is now a melee combatant as Krokkar charges in and fights the Solar Engine, but allows the Shredder to get a free hit onto him. And you can see the damage is getting really spread out between these 3 single entities. They're not all taking damage at the same time. That is pretty bad. Net of Ambertalk gonna lock the Skink Oracle in place. He takes a ton of damage. Gotrek pulls ahead on the balance of power. Krokkar is trying to cycle charge back in as the Solar Engine continues to fire. Gets not really meaningful damage out. And the Solar Engine, that's what he's about. The Solar Engine has an aura now, like Thoric, that provides vigor per second. So he's got the Shredder and Mazda are both still fresh. So their leadership is fine, their stats are all fine. That's why he wanted the Solar Engine in this build. The Solar Engine is taking some damage from Krokkar, though its leadership is going nowhere. Still has 31 leadership while being attacked in the rear by all this stuff. Goes negative for a brief second, but does rally. Apotheos is sending a beacon into the sky from the Shredder of Lustria as just a, hey, get wrecked, nerd beacon, but there goes the Solar Engine. No more perfect vigor for the Lizardmen of the green team. Not that it matters too much. I think this balance of power is fraudulent in... I think it is fraudulent helping out the red team, because I think the red team is actually in much more trouble than that would indicate. Solar Engine only has 2 shots left. Mazda Mundi still has all the healing in the world. Shredder of Lustria still has plenty of HP too. Because that HP bar is a little deceptive. It has 6,000 HP left. Krokkar has 2,000. Final charge of the Lizardmen. The Shredder of Lustria's -8 leadership aura plus its natural terror is going to immediately rout off all these guys though. It will not take long for them to get going. There they go. Routing, routing, routing. And the bounce power is about to turn into army losses territory as Krokkar does successfully snipe out Mazda Mundi. 500 HP for him, and he might retreat someday, though his vigor is still quite high from hanging out next to a Solar Engine for most of the game, so his leadership's chilling. Vibing. Krokkar has ITP? No, he doesn't have ITP. I'm surprised he didn't tear out from the Shredder there. Gets another hit onto Mazda. Shredder's going to hit him from behind. That should be the end of Krokkar. Man, he really wants to kill Mazda just as like just a quick middle finger on his way out the door, but it's not enough. Hey, Codex. So this one, my scoreboard was wrong. I just didn't want to change the order for one game and then change it back for the rest of the best of 5. But Gotrek is on Team America. So Team America takes the first point with a pretty crazy Lizardman blob. Skink Oracle. What? He only got 2,000 value after firing all of his ammunition into high value targets? Skink Oracle sucks. Holy smokes. Troglodons need a buff. That's unacceptable. That is unacceptable, CA. There's no shot the Skink Oracle just fired all of its ammo into high value targets and like didn't even pay for itself. That's upsetting. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I think Olaf played fine. I think the Skink Oracle just failed him because the Skink Oracle's terrible. Okay. So be careful not to click on the wrong thing. Let's delete that so I don't have to keep scrolling through it. Go to desktop, go to this thing, and we will give Gotrek his fancy schmancy win. Ooh, we want green. We don't want red. Red indicates bad things. Boom, boom! Gotrek got the first point for Team America. We'll go find Flying Taco versus Sepa. And from now on, the Swiss team will be accurately on the left. I am sorry for confusing you for one game. Cypher, where's Taco? Sepa versus Flying Taco. Taco's on Vampire Coast, which makes me think Sepa used his one ban to ban ogres. That's a crisp looking check mark, yeah. Swiss team down 1 point. Flying Taco, probably the best player on Team America. Yeah, probably. Couple good contenders in there, but Taco is super darn scary. Now, I don't know if he's as scary on the Vampire Coast as he is usually on his Ogre Kingdoms. For Sepa, Dark Elves are his favorite faction, if I remember correctly. We have Bleak Swords, Dark Riders, Cold One Knights, a Dark Rider Peter Crossbow, just one. I think he has it kind of the same way you would use Lizardmen Razordons. I think he's keeping it for the late game, keep it safe, and then if you end up with just a crab blob you have to deal with, you can bring them in at that point and shut them down. Rose of Cain, Doomfire Warlocks, and then a Supreme Sorceress of Dark with Blade Wind and Word of Pain. On the other side for Flying Taco's Vampire Coast, which I've literally never seen him play in my entire life, Lamprey's Revenge, and we have some handgunners, bombers, Shade Wraith gunners, couple mortars here and there, more handgunners and deck gunners, some more animated hulks. And we do have a Vampire Fleet Admiral of the Deep with the Van Horseman Speculum and Tidecall. Interesting. I usually see the female pistol caster for her Black Parafet or whatever that thing is that gives her a bunch of wind and magic. Blade Wind plus a Doom Bolt takes out an entire handgun mob and allows the Cold Knights to just charge straight through. They're going to try and disrupt the backline a bit, but it looks like they are going to get caught up for a little while. Deck gunners and handgunners turning to shoot them, and this is usually how I end up playing Coast too, is just pretty spread out and lots of guns to defending guns. His animated hulks block Doomfire Warlocks entirely. That is a 500 gold unit shutting down an 1100 gold unit. Very good trade for Taco. Elsewhere, Cold Knights fighting Lamprey's Revenge. If the Lamprey's Revenge can win this and then just regenerate back up, they'll be fine. But if this is a true, like, health bar trade, then the Cold Knights are going to win out, because it's very expensive for Lamprey's Revenge to be taking damage. Mortars still shooting as they can at the Bleak Swords. They were definitely brought to counter Dark Shards or Shades. There being no Dark Shards or Shades does make the Mortars have a pretty bad time. Not looking good for the Dark Elves, though. As Vampire Coast are pushing back their Cold One Knights. Murderous Prowess just popped, which saves these Cold One Knights that were about to rout. They will stay in the fight instead, though I don't know if that's even going to do great for them. The Shade Wraith Gunners are still lowering the leadership of anything they hit and pushing it further away. Crows of Cain going nuts in the back line. Now, the bounce power looks pretty bad for a Sepa, but this could get better very quickly. If the Shade Wraith Gunners get taken out, that's a lot of the balance of power off the field quite quickly. We have two different bomber mobs that are in melee, so when they die, that'll also help the bounce power, and there's still a mortar. There's a lot of super fragile ranged units for the Vampire Coast that are currently alive and buffering that balance of power. So you should see it start to come back to the Dark Elves a little bit. I don't think that guarantees they win the game. I just think this bounce power is about to go back to the middle, and we'll see if Taco can clutch it. Because this is the part you start getting concerned about, is when more and more of your ranged units are on the back foot and not firing. Like the Shade Wraith Gunners are trying to find somewhere to get space. This mortar is shooting at anything, but there's not a lot of good targets left for it. As we mentioned, all the bombers are shut down, all the handgunners are shut down, so the good anti-large armor piercing for the Cold One Knights are on the ropes. Lamprey's Revenge look like they're going to start crumbling away into nothing. As a Blade Storm, I don't know if that did friendly fire or not, but it looked like it did. Shade Wraith Gunners push off the Harpies for the final time. They get shattered. Blade Storm did not a whole lot to those mortars, unfortunately. And then something ended very suddenly. Sepa. That was a crash, so I'm guessing this was played on that ghost patch I can't access anymore. I need to message Sepa and figure out who won. The replay didn't look like it was bugging, so that's weird. I know this is the weird part though, is because you get that little red flag that says this was played on an older version of the game. It also does that for different languages, because I know there's that little red flag next to some of the finals matchups, and I know the finals were played after that hotfix thing. Okay. That's annoying. Sepa did end up winning. Looks like that replay went mostly how it was supposed to. It just ended a little early. That's lame. Most of these games were played on the current patch. I don't even know that one was played early, but Sepa's usually pretty good about getting his games done right away, so that's probably why. Okay. Sepa confirmed he did win. And that Taco surrendered shortly after that point, where the replay suddenly stops for no reason. Early damage doesn't matter if you have tenacity. 1-1, Ryder Rohan versus Zypher. Continue forward. And I'm curious about the other side. All right, that one, the domination of the red thing, because I don't have Total Tavern map pack on. Okay. So yeah, we'll be fine. What am I doing? Zypher versus Ryder Rohan. No red flag, meaning there will not be a problem with this one. No repeat. Ryder Rohan bringing out Durthu. Which is interesting. Durthu's been very strong for quite a few patches in a row, but recently we've been seeing Drycha and like only Drycha, because most people are trying to psych out their opponent with like, what if I bring Durthu? You gotta bring a lot of anti-large armor piercing, and then you just bring Drycha, a foot-sized caster instead. But here we get Durthu versus Zypher's Beastmen. So for the Beastmen, a front line of Ungor Spearman herds, and then a lot of mobility. Centaurs with throwing axes, more Centaurs, Grogsons of Wolf's Run, Centaurs of Tzeentch, the Butchers of Kalkengard, and Malagor Dark Omen in the sky with Flock of Doom. That is a lot of Centaurs versus Durthu. On the other side, for the Wood Elves, very little range, just 5 Dryads for front line, quadruple Glade Riders, all with Hagbane tips it looks like, then 4 Wild Riders, one of which is Wild Hunters Kurnos, and Durthu with Flock of Doom and Sword of Death. Just looking at the builds, I think the Beastmen are going to have a pretty bad time. Not a lot of this counters Durthu, and Durthu's pretty good at just spamming Flock of Doom on your Centaurs and whittling them down and then terror routing them with his giant body. Spooky. Ryan G with $5. Outside of Solostra's, Deep's really worth it over Vampires. I feel like Host loses with Deeps, and they could have pulled out a win if they had Mehek. Maybe. The main problem with the Coast is they don't have a lot of stuff worth healing with Invocation Mehek. Then they just spam out Tide Call or the Crab Summon to get rid of some things. Yeah. It has been gaining in popularity. I think if you're taking Mehek, you need, like, Mourngulls. Yeah, honestly, just Mourngulls to be worth it. Anyway. Flock of Doom of Overcast out onto this little frontal blob. Now we do have 3 Centaurs with throwing axes, all trying to throw at Durthu. Sword of Death follow-up from him to get a little bit more damage out, but I still think Ryder probably wants to pull Durthu back. He needs some Wild Riders or Glade Riders to stop these guys from doing just this, so taking a bunch of damage he really doesn't want to be doing. He doesn't have any healing. He didn't bring like a Branch Wraith with Earthblood or something, while his Glade Riders are just firing back at whatever they can. Some Centaurs is each here. A couple throwing axes there, and that's good. At least forces them away, because they were getting free shots on Durthu. Durthu being half HP is actually super concerning right now. So Ryder has to get a little more aggressive, in my opinion, pushing off these throwing axes, because Durthu can carry the game for you if he has HP, but if he doesn't, I mean, he's just going to lose the balance of power. What is going great for the Wood Elves is they've won the front line pretty decisively. Dryads outperformed Ungor Spearman herds across the board, as you would expect. Not shocking. So now Butchers, Kalkengard, and some Centaurs getting thrown into the front line to try and just stop that a little bit, keep Dryads from pushing away all these throwing axes. And any volleys from the throwing axes that don't go into Durthu is exactly what the Wood Elves want. Wild Riders chasing off some Centaurs. Pretty small map, so it's easy to get to the border. Take those guys out, make sure they don't just keep coming back and cycle charging for a bit. We still have all 4 skirmish cavalry for the Wood Elves, high HP and a lot of ammunition. That is actually a pretty big problem for the Beastmen. You can see these Centaurs are not enjoying that poking fire. Low armor, no shields, no regeneration except for the Grog Hooves. They really don't like this slow, constant fire of the skirmish cav from the Wood Elves. Balanced power turns in the Wood Elves' favor. Which is the Calcan Guard trying to heal up, but everyone else on the Beastmen roster is not enjoying this as the game gets drawn out. The Sons of Goros getting low, other Centaurs getting low. Durthu is lurking, more Flock of Dooms to cast. Even overcasted just on the Grog Hooves. I don't think that was worth it. Probably don't want to overcast Flock of Doom unless it hits 2 or 3 things. Okay, it hit the Sungor Spoon Herd too. That's better. Centaurs throwing axes coming back in. They have limited ammunition, but they're going to use it on Durthu, which is pretty smart. If these Glade Riders run out of ammunition, maybe you can just kill them in melee with your Centaurs in the late game. It looks like Malagor is also going to Flock of Doom them to whittle them down as well, but I'm getting concerned. Full health Glade Riders versus almost dead Centaurs. I mean, the Glade Riders will win that one. Ooh! Nasty 3-person Sword of Daith. That is very worth it. Now the Centaurs are trying to spread back out, but they're having issues spreading out in time, so most of the Sword of Daith is going to hit all of them anyway. Which the Calcan Guard get pushed away by the remnants of the Dryads and Durthu. The Skirmish Cav of the Wood Elves going to carry. All 4 of them still full HP. All 4 of them still a good amount of ammunition. You can see the Beastmen just can't take this slow whittling down they're getting on the side. Now the values aren't that crazy, but the Glade Riders have done their jobs. And I mean, they still have a ton left to give. They have a lot of ammo left, a lot of HP. There's even still a healthy-ish Wild Rider in the distance. Flock of Doom overcast from Malagor onto the Dryads to try and knock them out. Counter from Durthu onto the Centaurs with throwing axes. Probably more worth it for the Wood Elves. Now, 2 volleys left, 4 volleys left. That is it for the throwing axes. I don't know if they can kill Durthu outright, but it looks like the Butchers are going to turn, try and knock out the Dryad, then surround Durthu and kill him off, and that's really the only way they can hope for victory. Even if you kill Durthu at this point, though, I'm still worried with the amount of cavalry the Wood Elves have and the amount of HP it still has left. I think they can win without Durthu. It'll be harder. It'd be a little spooky, so if Durthu was alive, you guarantee a win, obviously. But I do think they can do it against what's left of the Beastmen. There's just not a lot of oomph left here. Another nice Flock of Doom in from Durthu. Flock of Doom meta in full force as the Grog Hooves try and chase him down. His leadership gets low, but he still has 2,700 HP, so if he can just nut up, stay courageous for a little bit, he will survive this on his HP and high stats. It's just his leadership's getting a little wobbly. Some Glade Riders have to jump in to save Durthu, but Malagor's not about to let that happen. Dives in for a rear attack. Doesn't have the highest melee stats, but I mean, still 400 non-armor piercing weapon strength is some. He can get some decent hits in on Durthu. Durthu is thinking about routing down to 7 leadership, down to -5. Don't you do it, Durthu! What are you doing? Durthu routes for no reason! And the Wild Hunters of Kurnos get pushed off too. Now there are no more Flock of Dooms getting spanned out on the Beastmen. The Beastmen have 2 healing regiments of Renown Ref. The Grog Hooves of Wolf run, which tear out away from Durthu, and I don't think they heal. Yeah, they don't heal all the time. They only heal when their leadership is doing okay. So when they're nice and low like that, it is going to be a problem. The Butchers are also trying to heal up slowly. Malagor is still alive, but there's a half-health Wild Rider that is going to clean up the Grog Hooves. It charging him like that, there's no way they stay in this fight, so they're going to run away. And like I said, they're not regenerating because their leadership is too low. But Malagor is convinced he's going to finish off Durthu. Butchers of Calcan Guard getting very low as well. Looks like they're going to route too. And I think even though you got Durthu, I don't think the Beastmen have what it takes to rally. The balance of power is super fraudulent. It's just thinking of Malagor as a full health, like 1900 gold lord or whatever he is, right? But it's not factoring in he has no winds of magic left at this point. And if he does, he has like 1 or 2 Flock of Dooms left. It's not factoring in his low melee stats. It's just like, Malagor healthy, Wood Elf Skirmish Cav out of ammo, Malagor win. And that's not true. Malagor does not win. Walk up Durthu. Nice pullback reaction from Flock of Doom to the Beastmen, yeah. Malagor in the Dark Kitchen. Now this is a loreful matchup, true. Malagor, Flock of Doom's Durthu to death. Oh, does the Flock of Doom actually kill him? No, he has 17 HP. I don't think it changes anything at this point if Durthu dies or not, but that's so funny. Love that. So, Malagor's now surrounded by the Wild Riders. All of a sudden, the balance power is like, wait a second, wait! Malagor can't beat Wild Riders in melee? And Durthu comes back with 17 HP. Oof. And casts his own Flock of Doom. He's like, you thought Flock of Doom would kill me? Flock of Doom will kill you, Crow Man. Actually, using Flock of Doom on Malagor is pretty messed up. that is the most messed up way to cast a spell on him. I attack you with birds. I am a bird. What were the teams before the finals? Was there a team Poland in there? Wilmos, yeah, I can go look at that for you, buddy. Sure, we can take a look for a second. Centaurs throwing axes, the Butcher Captain Guard did very well. Malagor did very well. Very, very close game. Durthu taking all that early damage from throwing axes did come back to bite him, but not enough to lose the game. Blade Riders did their jobs very well. Okay, let me delete that so I don't have to scroll past it anymore. Let me update the scorecard, and then someone asked us a question. So Ryder won that, right? So Team America's up 2-1. Give Ryder his point. Bam! Bam! 2-1. Now someone was asking who was all in this. We did have 21 teams sign up. Now this wasn't an invitational. I didn't go gather teams. I just posted on my Discord around late November, early December, that if you got together 5 people and you said you were from this country, you could sign up. I wasn't checking visas or anything, but we had Spain, Scandinavia, Italy, Germany, Georgia, Balkans, Czech, the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia. Wait, it's not Czechoslovakia anymore, it's Czechia. There we go. Antarctica, USA had 4 teams. Germany had 2. Scandinavia, Alliance. The Netherlands, Russia had a couple teams. Switzerland, Balkans, Mexico. France. Canada. Pretty good representation. But again, it wasn't an invitational. It wasn't like, you didn't include a team from blank? A team from blank didn't include themselves. I had no horse in this race. I made Team USA too. That was my team. Got together 4 bros. We had a good time. We did all right. That was as much of a thumb on the scale as I put. I am from the USA. I made a USA team. That's all I did. All right. So there you go. Pigman 202 and Solisora are going to have to 2-0 sweep to get the Swiss the win here. If Stratgame or Turin, yes, that Turin, can get a win, the United States will be going to the finals. So this is Pigman versus Stratgame. Bohemians! Was it made you Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? I didn't play that game, so take that. Why no team from Kazakhstan? Because they didn't sign up. I didn't do this. Mick Rightface, that wasn't me, that was a different guy. We've established that you got scammed. For War God YouTube does do YouTubes. Occasionally posts on our Discord server in the community videos tab. I think you can look them up on YouTube, but I'm not sure it'll come up as the first result. Because I know when a channel is smaller, YouTube tends to ignore it entirely. I know the frustrations whenever I try to promote Tequila Sunset and I type it in, it'll always give me other stuff. Even if I type it in exactly, it'll still be like, did you mean rum sunshine? And I'm like, no, I meant Tequila Sunset, you fool. Anyway, so War God Piloting double giant ogres, piggyback rider, Noblar front line. Then we have some Sabertusk packs, ogre bulls, 2 lead belchers, and we do have the Eshin Maneater and the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw with troll guts. On the other side for the Tomb Kings, Chosen Gods, Shop Great Bow, ROR, 4 skeleton horsemen, 2 Necropolis Knights halberds. Then we have some Nekar horsemen, Cetra the Imperishable on his cat. And then a bunch of skeleton warriors, skeleton spearmen, including King Kesha Scorpion Legion, and 2 regular skeleton archers. Question about your party tier list. Did you take into account the coast and heal back artillery model? Oh, you're talking about artillery tier list. If you look at artillery duels, they'll actually win against other artillery if you heal in time. Mortars, though? No. The carronades maybe, but the problem with carronades is they're too inaccurate and do too little damage in artillery duels. They usually just get killed off by stronger artillery. Because their whole thing is that they're cheap, but then investing healing into them to make them win is not really the point of taking cheap artillery. But just my opinion, could be wrong. Front lines have engaged. Ogres and piggyback riders going to churn through skeletons quite quickly, especially piggyback riders wherever they are. They have pretty high stats. Incantation of Protection onto a Skeleton Spearman is actually kind of clutch. I like the 40% resistance on those spears, just keeping them in the fight for a while longer, while Cetra and his Necropolis Knights commit elsewhere. We do have some Skeleton Horse Archers with almost free reign to get back here and shut down the Lead Belchers. That would be a pretty big win for the Tomb Kings, as they are behind early on the balance of power. It's to be expected when you're getting pounded by Lead Belchers and the impressive charge of the Ogres. We're just going to see if, in the long run, they can withstand the charge and then come back. I don't know why the Necropolis Knights backed off this far. I didn't think that fight was going that poorly for them, but they did leave Cetra all alone. And now a Giant is beating him up while he tries to path through Ogre Bulls. We do need to see these anti-large cav and regular cav get back in here. I really don't know why they abandoned Cetra, but he is paying for it. Other Ogre Bulls and the Giant going to catch other Necropolis Knights halberds who are again retreating. I don't understand why they're retreating. Like, listen, I hate Necropolis Knights halberds. I think they suck. And I know a lot of people in my own clan disagree with me about whether or not they're any good. I think they're terrible. But if you're going to take them and you're getting fought by Ogre Bulls and a Giant, that is like the only reason to take them. Take the fight. Stop running away. If you... Listen, if these guys are scared of Ogre Bulls, don't take them in this matchup. If they can't fight Ogre Bulls, don't take this thing. Oh, I hate it. I hate Necropolis Knights. I think they're terrible. Eshin Maneater, now isolated and alone, completely surrounded by troops, uses his Maneater Smoke Bomb. Doesn't knock anybody back because they're large size, so he can't get any space, but it does give him 24 more melee defense while the Chosen Gods fall back. US has 4 times the teams of most countries. People, get together, 4 friends, make a team, sign up. That was all the qualifications. Just because the US had 4 teams of 5 people ready to play and other people didn't get that many teams together, that's all it is. Chat's making me angry. A surprise Poison Wind Mortars didn't make the tier list. They're in the weapons teams one. Yeah. Alright, anyway, sorry, I got distracted by chat trolling me. The 2 Lead Belchers are still alive. Cetra cycle charging the back line, just disrupting some things. Skeleton Horse Archers got pulled up here to fight with the Giant, but now they're getting killed off. It looks like they ended up in melee somehow, so they did need to fall back. Did need to use more of their ammunition, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case. They're going to get killed off. The Eshin Maneater gets a Troll Guts, and then Lead Belcher fire over the top. Really punishing the blob of the Tomb Kings. Now they have to fall back, so the Eshin Maneater's not even going to die. Just baited them all to get shot. Nahamas Giant deals 1/8 of their HP per swing. Then don't take them! Then don't take them! Ah! Nah, Necropolis Knights halberds suck. They suck. Necropolis Knights still falling back. Cetra's doing what he can. Some Ogre Bulls, pretty low HP, are chasing him around, but you still have double Giant, both full HP, and Cetra can't beat them. I don't know if he can even beat 1 Giant, to be honest. So I don't know. I think if the Tomb Kings clean up everything besides the 2 Giants, the 2 Giants still win at this point. Cetra tries to shut down the lead belchers. It doesn't really work for him, and the ogre bulls get a side charge. Now, he'll be okay. It's not like he's going to take that much damage, but it is more of just a, where is this going? As lead belchers use the last of their ammunition before Cetra's going to rout them, and they're just going to shoot the Necropolis Knights. Increasingly trying to get Cetra all alone is the final thing, so that eventually he has to fight your giants, and eventually he will lose. Necropolis Knights and Skeleton Horse Archers charge in. Cetra casts a little protection on himself for 40% resistance, and the Slaughtermaster is maybe being a little overbold. If he gets sniped out, I would say the leadership, the ogres will fail, but giants have a base 100 leadership, so even they don't need their lord to stay in the fight forever. Yeah. Cursed Blades out, but March for Eaton slows down and lowers the armor of Necropolis Knights as they charge into lead belchers, which are getting a ton of damage out onto them. They're even starting to crumble on their own. The giants have regrouped so that Cetra can't take a 1v1 even if he wanted to. And the Chosen the Gods still running away from some random piggyback riders. Yeah, running away from them. Ogre Bull's going to try and cut them off, but maybe, possibly, potentially, if the Chosen the Gods could just shoot at giants in the late game, the spread shot could do a lot of damage to something so tall, but not going to allow it. Army losses will take Cetra. I would take Nahakara Horsemen over Necropolis Knights Halberds, Ryan G. For sure. You hate giants? Why do you hate giants? Giants are, like, good for the first time ever, and they're not even OP. They're just good in certain matchups. Archers did okay. Necropolis Knights did not do okay. Skeleton Horse Archers struggled a bit. Shout to Great Bows did fine. For War God, Eshin Maneater and the Giants just ran around. One giant didn't get a lot of value, but he was ominous. He was lurking in the distance. Attack on Titan music playing as he looks over the walls. Lead Belcher's got a lot of value. Saber Dust got a lot of value. GG's. Okay, I forgot to turn on my Total Tavern mod thing. So, I gotta exit to desktop real quick and turn that on. It's gonna take so long. Oh my goodness. Jeezy Pete's. Mod manager on play. Oh wow, he's already back into game. Oh wow. 2-2. Going into the domination game to decide it all. Pigman takes the win on the Tomb Kings. So much for your OP ogres now. I didn't notice a conquest point, so I think those two forgot to play on conquest, though it doesn't look like it really mattered. Turin and Solisora. For the W. Now, Solisora is largely regarded to be the best gosh darn domination player in the entire world. But Turin's Turin. Do you believe? How come we don't use Norska Giants much? Is because people already Norska to death. No. Norscan Giant's okay. The main thing is that Norska doesn't need the Giant to fight giant single entities. They have Javelin Throwers and Plague of Rust they usually use instead, or Skin Wolves and Plague of Rust. Or Famir with great weapons. They just don't really need it. Haggard will see us through. Alright, there was still, even with the Total Tavern map pack on, there was still a red flag next to this, so be warned. If this was played on the previous patch, that patch is borked now and we can't access it. So, if this ends suddenly, that'll be weird, but I don't think it was played way back then. We'll find out. For Solisora starting army on the Wood Elves, he has Pravenoth Rema and Arrow of Kuranos Glade Lord, and then we do have a branch with Melkoths and Earthblood. A whole bunch of infantry to start out. Glade Guard, Dryads, Eternal Guard, and then a Sisters of the Thorn. A Waste Stalker is also summoned for extra sniping. On the other side for Turin, his Warriors of Chaos, we have 3 Marauder Horsemen. And then some basic Marauders. Oh, that's why. Chat was actually telling me last time that Turin is obsessed with the Soul of Damnation, and it looks like Solisora is keen to that as he gets 2 Arrow of Kurnos casters to immediately start sniping out the Soul of Damnation. Anyway, Soul of Damnation, Aspiring Champions, Marauders. We do have a Chaos Lord of Fire, Burning Head, and Tormentor Sword, and then an Exalted Hero as well. Turn starting with a pretty heavy infantry push. Now this map, I believe it's called Decrepit Moor, does have a triangular setup, so each side is closer to one of the 2 spawn points. So Turin controls 3, which he spawns next to. Wood Elves control 2, which they spawn next to. And point 1 is contended. Wood Elves start out with it because they just got here a lot faster. They have higher move speed and more Vanguard, but the Warriors of Chaos slowly moving in with a better front line. Looks like the Wood Elves want nothing to do with it. Soul of Damnation is still getting damage out, though honestly, I wonder if it'd be worth it for Turin to desummon it, seeing that there's 2 Arrow of Kurnos casters. I think he should desummon it and get the value back while he still can, before the second cooldown of Arrows of Kurnos comes back up, and then it's just gonna die. Solely on the Woody's Pog. Yeah. Solely's good at the Wood Elves. Turin takes point 1. He is currently actually up on damage value, though we've learned damage value is pretty fraudulent. There's a lot of things that don't count that should. In comes the next Arrow of Kurnos, though. And there goes the Soul of Damnation. Now, I wonder if he desummons it at full HP and a lot of ammo, if he gets a lot of that money back. Does it count the Soul of Damnation, like actual cannon model, as a lot of the value, or not really? I wonder. Turin's starting to summon in Forsaken and Hellstrider, so a bit of extra speed and oomph. I don't know what Soli's been summoning in. I don't see a whole lot of it. He has a lot of supplies, but I suppose Turin does too. Oh, Turin just refunded the Soul of Damnation, so we got a lot of supplies back that way. Solely summoning some Wild Riders. Looks like he's content for now to just fire in, get extra damage out while he can. He's going to do a bit of a late push, it looks like. Now, he does have 1 point out of 3. It's not like it's a triple cap. He's not getting nothing out of it, but I imagine he'll take a push up after he gets a good damage value lead, though Turin's actually still keeping even with the damage value for now. Without the Soul of Damnation, he'll start to fall behind. A good Burning Head. It's quite nice. Sister of the Thorn maybe going to get caught here. Cast Shield of Thorns on themselves as the Hellstriders start to charge in, so Hellstriders won't want any of this. And then they also chuck down a Curse of Honor here. Wow, they really didn't want to get caught by those Hellstriders. Turin's probably going to want to back off. Just take the 2 bound spells you got for free. Ooh, but a Curse of Honor here net. I'm sorry, Prey of Anathrema net is going to be pretty bad. Now, typically you think of Prey of Anathrema nets for like net someone in place and shoot them with Triple Waywatcher or something, but it is, I mean, it's still a net. It allowed these Dryads to just get free hits on the Hellstriders as some Wild Riders charge in, so a net's a net and you can get good value out. This Glade Lord is overextending, though, for sure. He's getting hit with 3 Skirmish Cav down to about half HP, needs to fall back. Hellstriders get knocked out. Turin's still ahead about 400 damage value. Wild Riders are charging through Marauders. Exalted Hero runs into Eternal Guard and Dryads. He is taking some damage here. Eternal Guard are armor piercing. And the Exalted Hero's on foot. At least they don't get their bonus versus large. More Chaos Warriors. Ooh, Chaos Warriors. Okay, Turin's starting to summon in some heavy metal slow pushers here. And this side is a little concerning. It's 1 Marauder versus like 3 or 4 infantry. Solisora is going to push up over here. Looks like he wants to switch the dynamic of getting Turin getting 2 points for every 1 he gets. Looks like the Wood Elves now want to start getting 2 points to every point he gets. I think he's maybe a little worried about ceding too much ground and then having a hard time pushing through Chaos Warriors, if that's what Turin's going to start summoning in the late game. Because Marauders you can punch through pretty easily with a nice cav charge. Even Forsaken aren't that tanky. And Aspiring Champions, they're tanky, but they don't have the most capture weight, I don't think. 5.0 is actually quite a lot. Jeez! Okay, yeah, they count as a full infantry unit. Yeah, Aspiring Champions would already be hard to get through. But if he's got Chaos Warriors coming in too, all of a sudden the Wood Elves can't guarantee smashing through with a big push, so they want to get moving now. Good Burning Head out from the Chaos Lord of Fire, though it's angled away a bit. I would have liked it more if it was angled down the line rather than up the line, as the up the line just kind of tickles these Eternal Guard a bit, doesn't get too much damage out. Turin still has a good stranglehold on point 1. His Exalted Hero still is having a bad time fighting these Eternal Guard, though that is a great fight for Solisora. Turin's starting to de-summon some Marauders. He does have Marauder Horsemen still kiting out the Dryads, but his Wizard Lord has gotten left all alone. Yeah, Sorcerer Lord of Fire. Surrounded by bad guys. And the Glade Lord gets up nice and close just to shoot at him. I'm the best Wood Elf archer there ever was. Allow me to shoot you from 10 feet away. Another Prey of Anath Raymond to the Hellstriders. Again, just using it as a net, not using it for the missile resist debuff. But Turin summons in more Aspiring Champions. And Turin still secretly, sneakily, behind the scenes, spookily has point 3. The Wood Elves did not capture that, so he is still getting 2 tickets. Firecaster will survive, it appears. He's getting back to his own forces enough to stay in it. This Exalted Hero, unfortunately, has been a bit of a wash. Just fighting a random Eternal Guard and dying to it is not a good time for that Exalted Hero. Not enjoying that. Shield of Thorns is out for these Wild Riders. And Aspiring Champions will slowly grind through the cavalry of the Wood Elves, but the damage value isn't telling the full story. Turin's up about 600 on damage value, so you'd assume it's even, but looking around, I feel like the Wood Elves are having a much better time. They've summoned some War Dancers, but, I mean, they have healthy Dryads and Eternal Guard all over here. They have Cavalry that still has a little bit of Gusto left, while Turin has some Infantry on point 1, I suppose, but then he's got Skirmish Cav with no ammo and not a lot of HP. His Lord's taking a lot of damage, too. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, oh boy. Turin summoning in some serious firepower. And I suppose that works. Ooh, full health Glade Guard getting de-summoned. I wonder how many resources that gets. Yeah, 300 supplies back for Soli, not bad. But, yeah, the Wood Elves don't have the most armor piercing here to stop these Chaos Knights. So these Chaos Knights, if microed properly... Oh, that's terrible. That's not Turin's fault, that's just jank at its finest. But downhill charge into the Dryads, one Chaos Knight hits the Dryads, and then the whole unit stops and doesn't complete the charge. You hate to see it, that's not Turin's fault. But you know what's awesome for Turin is he still controls point 3. He still has it. No one knows. I bet even Turin doesn't know. He still has point 3. Marauders summon in. He's summoning, look at this. He's summoning Marauders in the faraway thing. So Turin's betting that Solisora's screen is like here. And he's like, oh man, I'm gonna Metal Gear Solid. I'm gonna Solid Snake sneak up through here off screen. Soli won't even see me coming. I'm gonna capture point 3. And point 3 is like, no bro, no. You still got me. You still have point 3. Just leave me alone. Just Soli thinks he has me. Just leave me alone. Still happy that double Arrows of Kronos is banned in Land Ball's Conquest, because damn, it's annoying to fight, and especially Skaven. Yeah, Skaven is tough. So the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch and the Aspiring Champions gonna grind through Eternal Guard. They don't want to sit in this fight. The Chaos Knights do need to back off and get another charge in, because just sitting and grinding with the Eternal Guard, as we saw for that Exalted Hero, is just not a good time. Eternal Guard aren't the craziest unit in the entire game, but they do have armor piercing, so sitting on top of them with an armored unit is not going to work out in the long run. Turin summons in some dogs as well to get a bit of a charge and chase some things down. But oh no, this is a Thorn route into Turin's victory point, and they almost accidentally capture it back, but Turin's Marauders have arrived now more officially. What? I swear to God, if this is Red Cross. Hello? It was a Red Cross. You give them, I give them blood 4 times a year, and they'll still call me every weekend being like, did you know you can also give your kidneys? Did you know that you don't need both your legs? Bro, I give you blood consistently. Leave me alone. You're making me not want to give blood. Anyway, Turin summoning in dogs. Starting to run down some of these archers. I like this, because Solisora is getting his second retinue of archers, refreshing their ammo and bringing them back into the fight, so Turin throws out a bunch of dogs. We are getting some Glade Riders with spears in the back line, but one Glade Rider might have difficulty stopping 2 dogs from getting on their targets, as already these Glade Guard are taking hits. But Soli is running away, making the dogs work for it, and Wood Elf archers do have 27 melee defense compared to the dogs' 25 melee attack, so they're not like some other archers where they'll die instantaneously. They'll actually hold okay. Chaos Knights of Tzeentch running away from Wild Riders, trying to get those barriers back up. As we still have a bump and grind fight for point 1. War Dancers churning through Chaos Warriors and Inspiring Champions as best they can. They are not Blade Singers, though, so they don't have, like, significant armor piercing or anything as dogs reach point 1, but getting shot by archers in the back, and they are just dogs. They look like they're about to rout. Not having a good time. Just tell them Nagash is weak. They start serving corn. Kids blood, I assume, yeah. Turn spellcaster have like 2k value in the victory screen. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm done being distracted by you as, ooh, a dive in from the Glade Lord, and Turin doesn't seem to see it. His Hellstriders are inactive. Activate the Hellstriders. Get that Glade Lord. No! The Glade Lord sneaks out as the Hellstriders AFK through it. Though, I am suspicious. I'm suspicious that those Hellstriders aren't actually AFK. Because we did have a red triangle next to this replay. So I wonder if the replay's starting to jank out. Yeah, it looks like it is. There's no way Turin took his hands off his keyboard like this, so I'm thinking it's starting to jank out. But we'll see. There's a Melkoth. No, 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 no. Some of these units are getting activated. Okay, we're fine. Maybe. I don't know. The red triangle of doom gets me so scared. And for people that are like, why don't you just go back to the previous patch? Normally, I can go back to the previous patch, but this specific patch, CA got rid of it entirely, and they said in the future they'll keep it up, but like this specific one had problems with Windows after an update, so they had to get rid of it entirely. So I don't know. We'll see if it's real. A lot of units are still moving, so it seems like it's mostly on the level as the Chaos Lord takes a little charge. He kind of wants to charge the Glade Lord, throws out a Tormentor Sword to lock everybody in place, and then he's going to peace out. Dog's getting caught by some stuff, but Turin's still doing good on gold damage. Still has a lot of tickets. But there's too many units here doing nothing that I am pretty sure we have crossed a line where it started janking out for no reason. And what's messed up is the patch didn't even change anything. The patch was like, oh, here's a couple campaign buildings. And then for some reason, all replays just get borked from there, which is messed up. Turin's still getting a lot of tickets. Now, here's the thing. We'll see. I know what team advances, so I know who should win this game. But maybe that person will win this game anyway, and then it won't matter. We'll find out. As point 3 is now getting captured by Solisora after Turin's shenanigans through the early game. He's got a lot of tickets. I think we are at the point where Soli's going to need a triple cap, and that is a disaster as the aspiring champions are taking point 2. Turin still holds point 1, so Soli's got to do something. Looks like he's spawning. Ooh, yeah, look at that. He spawns in 2 Dryads, and the Vanguard just sprints for point 2. He's like, absolutely not. I need that point so bad. Point 3 still belongs to the Warriors of Chaos. That has happened twice this game. I am suspicious that ever happened. I am suspicious that Soli would leave something that low twice in a row. I think that is maybe some replay jank that it shouldn't have been there. Turin still holds point 1 for now. His Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Fire, very low on HP. Glade Guard walk in, and he puts just a little bit of them in the square so that they provide some capture weight, but still, Turin's got stuff on the other side that's also providing similar capture weight. Turin's gonna go up on points here.
I knew it.
And the Wood Elves all of a sudden win. Yeah, okay, that wasn't adding up, because I'm like, I know Soli wins, because I know Swiss are in finals, but how? And then I saw units start standing around, I'm like, fuck. So that didn't happen how it looks. So here's how I'm guessing it goes. Turin didn't have that point 3 all game. Remember the sneaky one where I was like, Soli doesn't know? I'm guessing Soli actually had that, so I'm guessing Soli actually had a lot more tickets than it was telling us. And I'm guessing that Turin threw his aspiring champion at point 2 because he needed a triple cap at some point to succeed, and he didn't get it, and he lost on points. Because Turin was up on value, so I don't think he would have lost like that. I'm pretty sure the replay bugged the capture point, yeah. That's so sad. Ugh. I wish I could go back to that replay, but it's officially borked. They made me a special thing for casting a different event, the Faction War. They gave me a special mini patch that I could cast the old ones on, but that's broken. They warned me about that. They're like, you have a couple days till a Windows update comes out and breaks this. So. Dang, rip. Let me check the other one. France. Okay, so Catholic Alcoholic versus Bird does not have the red triangle of doom. So I think we'll be fine there. These other ones are going to have the red triangle because I'm on the Total Tavern map pack, and it'll always have that. And then Finals I know won't have any, because by default, Finals was played after the patch, right? So that's a little jank. That's a little sad. I do know, however, that Soli did win. And it looks like he won off of capturing the points, because Turin was staying pretty good on value. And I didn't... Here's the thing that makes me think Turin was doing fine in value. Is you saw a lot of Turin's units standing around doing nothing. You didn't see a lot of Wood Elf units standing around doing nothing. So that makes me think that more of the Wood Elf units actually died, and some of Turin's units routed. But of the units that were still partaking in the game, Turin still had more, and they were healthier and doing better. And how he was behaving, because he was pushing really hard for point 2, which would seem weird if you were ahead on points. You would want to secure points 3 and 1, which he wasn't doing. He was pushing pretty hard for point 2. So I think Soli was quite ahead on tickets in the real version from that fake not captured one that we saw all game. So, rip, very close domination game regardless, and Soli will clutch it out. In a 3-2 series, Team America gets knocked, and Swiss goes to finals. Like I said, though, when I have never seen any of these games ahead of time, but I knew who the finalists were because I've coordinated with them, right, to get their games done. I was like, how does Soli pull this back? Because this is looking really bad, but I didn't say that, obviously, in my casting, because that'd be spoilers. And then as Turin hits 1,400 tickets and he has battlefield presence, I'm like, how does Soli win this game? Because I know he does. Okay. Cool. So we have Mexico versus France. Let's pull that up, huh? Boom. Mexico versus France. So same setup. I don't have to go through the whole spiel again because we aren't doing different streams this time. We're just doing one big stream. So for Mexico, they have banned Tomb Kings, and for France, they have banned Ogres. You might see Demons Chaos, you might see Dwarves this time. On the Mexico side, we have Segos, Green One, Sexy Boy, Soul Invictus, and Butcherbird. On the French side, Razel, Loopy, Alfredino, Rocket Row, and Catholic Alcoholic. Same maps, because the semifinals are played on the same maps. Same setup, land battle, conquest, conquest, and then domination to wrap it up. Sound good? Now, multiple smart people have told me that Total Tavern does not mess up regular replays. But after going through a bit of regular replay jank for a bit, I am going to just be as safe as possible and turn off the map pack before casting the first 4 replays. Because we already had 2 replays borked by patch nonsense, and that makes me sadder than sad. Turn used to keep that cannon on call for Wood Elves, don't know why he brought it in the main army. RTZ, yeah. I think it was going fine. He tanked 2 Arrows of Kronos well. I think he needed to desummon it before those guys were back off cooldown, though. Another pair of quite stacked teams. I mean, if you get to the semifinals in a 21-team tournament of try-hard sweatiness, they're gonna be really freaking good. Okay, what are we doing? I got crossed up on my tabs. Where am I? What's going on? Oh yeah, I need to figure out who's where. Rocket, Alfred, Razel, Catholic, and Loopy. Okay, so France sent me the replays. France will be on the left side for this whole thing. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Calm down. We have had many times this tournament where the team on the left sent me replays and they lost. Don't be like, well, the Swiss sent in the replays, so they won. And now France sent in the replays, so France wins. Good tournament organization. Wow. Both teams sent me replays. I just grabbed one and called it fine. Okay, who's our first one? What are we doing? Segos versus Ryder. Skaven versus... Oh, no. oh, no. Elspeth Lord Snipe versus Skaven. Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Razel on the Skaven, not on his beloved Beastman. Who knows if it was banned out? I don't know. Segos on his Empire. Segos has been playing a lot of Empire. And he's playing the classic ODM Scumlord style of Master Engineer Elspeth. For Razel and the Skaven, we have some Doom Flayers, some Rat Ogres, Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, a bunch of Poison Wind Globes, Skaven Slaves in the front line, then Night Runner Slings, interestingly. And then Prophet Gris of Rune. Greyseer of Ruin. With Howling Warp Gale and Dreaded 13th as his 2 spells. Elspeth's laser attack sometimes does good damage to a Greyseer on a bell, sometimes it misses entirely for reasons unknown, so we'll see. Fate of Buna Spirit Leech for Elspeth. And then she does have Dark Walker, Death's Timekeeper, and her Dragon Breath attack, of course. Empire Knights and Pistoliers, we have an Engineer with Restock to give more ammunition to either the Pistoliers in the late game or the Sunmaker early. And we do have the Sunmaker and 4 Spearmen. Sunmaker trying to do a lot of impact damage, get the Skaven nice and low so that when Elspeth and the Engineer successfully snipe out the Lord, the Skaven will be too low to resist and they'll all start routing. Now, Elspeth is trying to spot the Natty Bubos so she can cast Fate of Buna on them. Fate of Buna will still flat out shatter this unit, which is why it is so good into Skaven. Poison Globes get a little hit onto Elspeth. Elspeth is flying directly over them. She definitely doesn't need to do that. Just cast Fate of Buna and be done with it. There it is. And now she's moving over towards the Greyseer. The Skaven are sprinting towards the Sunmaker. They just want to take it out. And the Greyseer got a lucky one! Elspeth's breath attack misses entirely just because of the dragon's, the bell jank. Which is one of the reasons the Greyseer can be really good in this matchup. Fate of Buna is going to take out Natty Booba Sharpshooters for free. Skaven are going to fall quite behind on the balance of power. But the Greyseer being able to dodge that breath attack just sometimes. Sometimes it hits and does a lot of damage. Sometimes it doesn't. Is pretty huge. You don't get Flensing Ruin of Ikka Claw, but Ikka Claw is going to hit with that breath attack every single time. Bubos are silly strong? Good joke. They're dead already, bruh. Natty Bubo Sharpshooters are crazy weak to Fate of Buna, so they're actually quite bad in this matchup. I don't take them anymore because of that. Dreaded 13th, someone from the Greyseer, though, walks up on the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, and the explosion alone shatters that off, so this is a really good position for this Skaven. Everything has gone poorly for the Empire. Their Lord Snipe didn't do well. It took them too long to use Fate of Buna on the Natty Bubos, because they kind of can't... They took for a while to cast it for some reason, and then they canceled it when she started doing her breath attack on the Greyseer. So Natty Bubos got out like 2 or 3 more volleys than they were supposed to, and then the Dreaded 13th killing off the Sunmaker. It's just been a complete disaster for the Empire so far. Elspeth getting hit with the Warpstone Scroll, doing some decent damage, slowing her down. As there's some form of blob forming here. Ah, some valiant Empire Knights dove in to save Elspeth, and they're dying for it. I see. As Pistoliers and Engineers are continuing to kite, the Greyseer throws out a Scorch onto the Spearman. And we'll see if the second and third breath attack from Elspeth can actually hit the Greyseer and kill him off, because then the Empire can still win this. But if that doesn't happen, they are pretty doomed. A lot of this build's idea is behind Elspeth for free sniping the enemy Lord and then just abusing Skaven leadership after that. If you don't snipe the Lord, you just lose. Elspeth dives onto some Poison Globes, gets a good shot down. Globes somehow missed a lot of that volley out of the Pistolier, which is a little surprising. And you can see already what the Empire was trying to do. Look at all these routing Skaven units they're just going to chase off the map with their cavalry advantage. Now imagine if the Grey Seer was dead. That Rat Ogre would also be routing. These globes wouldn't come back. These spears over here would be routing, so... Yeah, the Lord being alive is a huge problem. Elspeth's back in the air. I wonder if she's gonna try and breath attack him again. Might want to try getting directly above him and firing straight down. No, she is gonna go at an angle. And again, the breath attack misses entirely, going through the Grey Seer's, like, one of the little struts. It just doesn't do any damage there. So, it's kind of similar why you take Grey Seer versus Tzeentch, because Blue Fire of Tzeentch misses the Grey Seer a lot. So, the Grey Seer, with his high health pool, his high armor, and his spell resistance, he's already very good versus spell sniping, but projectile spells, 50-50 shot, they just flat out fucking miss him. Wouldn't Toddy be better Lord for this matchup? He is also very good, but Elspeth is solid if that doesn't happen to you. But it looks like Razel did some practice behind the scenes, and he figured out that the Grey Seer can just dodge Elspeth's breath attack from time to time for no reason, which happens. Toddy is extremely good for this matchup, yes. But it depends. I don't think you can do this type of build with Toddy, because it hinges so heavily on Elspeth's ability to snipe out the enemy Lord and the Jezzails with Fate of Buna. Because if you have to take Toddy and then an Amethyst Wizard, that's a lot more money. And then you're further depleted on these kinds of things. Now, Elspeth on her dragon is also quite expensive, but also Toddy can't guaranteed kill Ikit Claw in one breath attack like Elspeth can. Now again, the Grey Seer's dodging things, but I don't think that Segos thought that could happen. I don't think he thought that the laser attack would miss the Grey Seer twice in a row for no reason. Yeah, Toddy's very good here. It's more of talking between great and great rather than like, Elspeth is bad and Boris is great. You know what I mean? Elspeth gets hit with a Howling Warp Gale. She does have Dark Walker popped for extra physical resistance, so she currently has 40. But she's still trapped on the ground. Bounds of Power is actually still 50-50, as the Skaven... We've been talking a lot about how it's not working out for Elspeth, like her whole breath attacks and whatever, but, I mean, she's still killing the Grey Seer slowly. Bounds of Power is still 50-50. The Skaven force is getting dwindled as the Empire just keeps routing things off and then chasing them into oblivion. Empire Knights are going to have to be committed to save Elspeth. She's stuck on the ground. She's almost routing. She needs the path to safety. And in comes a dreaded 13th onto the Empire Knights. They dodge most of the explosion damage, but that still means there's a halberd nearby, and Elspeth is stuck in the mass of the Skaven. She has a way out, but I don't know if Segos is zoomed in enough to see the way to safety. Now that she's routed, her actual AI will take over, and the AI sees the path to safety, immediately getting up into the sky. Well, not into the sky, but gets away. If she can fly, she might get to safety, but it doesn't look like she's going to, as a Howling Warp Gale is going to lock her in place, and that'll probably be the doom of the Empire. It's more that the Bell is one of the worst coded hitboxes. Why is this Skaven name in French? Because the French player sent me the replay. But also, like, I acknowledge that the Grey Seer hitbox is janky as heck. I also acknowledge that I am a Skaven main and my Skaven bias is unreal. But also, let me have this, okay? Do you know how horrible it is to play Skaven into Tzeentch, Demons of Chaos, and Empire because of all the unavoidable nonsense, because of all the bullshit the Empire can pull? You're looking at this game, and I know, I'm not flaming you specifically in chat. I more of just have this emotion built up in my chest that I need to let out through screaming. You're telling me you watch Elspeth one-shot Ikit Claw on his Doom Wheel with her breath attack that can't miss? You're telling me you watch her one-shot Lord Skrulk, Queek, the Brood Horror Lords, Throt, a Master Assassin? You telling me she can one-shot everybody on my entire roster, and you're like, thumbs up, fine. And then I finally find one Lord, Razel did too, that can dodge that frickin' thing. The Grey Seer on a Bell, about 50% of the time, depending on the angle, the breath attack will miss entirely, and I can actually have a Lord for more than 5 seconds versus the Empire. I can actually have counterplay versus the Empire, and that's what you take take issue with? You're like, wow, it's so messed up the Skaven get to still have a lord. That's kind of wild. I think it's more messed up that you have a point and click lord that can kill all but one, and the one that gets to stay alive is because of a bug. I think that's more messed up, that I need to find a bug in the game to keep my freaking lord alive. I hate Elspeth so much. I hate her concept. Listen, we have this hyper expensive lord sniping machine where if you don't have the capacity to kill her, or your faction relies on your lord to stay alive, looking at you greenskins and Skaven or Norska, if your faction just falls apart if your lord ever dies, she is a GG auto win, nice game, very fun, good times. And then if you don't require your lord to stay in the game, then there's no reason to take Elspeth, and she's terrible. I hate her design. I think Elspeth is just the worst. Just the worst. She's either crazy OP or useless, and that's fun. That's peak. That's peak game design. All right, France takes the win over Stinky Elspeth. Stinky poopy Elspeth. Sego's played great. He honestly would have won if the Grey Seer had gotten hit by even one of the breath attacks. And then he might have won even without getting hit by the breath attacks. But just, you know, didn't work out for him. That land-in, as people are pointing out, that land-in was a little overly risky. So, you know, made one mistake, got punished pretty heavily for it. But it happens. Sometimes one mistake costs you a game. It's true. Did I update the bracket? Yeah, I did. Okay, sorry. I think I got paranoid about that. I'm looking for Loopy in the green one. Loopy and the green one with diamonds. Tell us how you really feel. Olaf, that sounds true, but I've had Lord Skrulk die in one Elspeth breath attacks. You're still relying on if the breath attack knocks you over, which sometimes it just doesn't, and you get wrecked. Sahel talking about, yeah. Sahel, like I said, I just had emotions in my chest that had to come out. I wasn't trying to attack anybody in particular. I just have strong emotions about Elspeth. All right. This Nurgle build cannot possibly win. It can't. It literally cannot. I love Green One. He's a better player than me. I acknowledge all of that. You cannot take Kugath Plaguefather into the faction with the most armor-piercing missiles in the entire game and win. That is not allowed. Now, did the Dark Elves take a lot of armor-piercing missiles? Kind of. They have 3 armor-piercing skirmish cav, 2 armor-piercing chariots, I guess. They didn't take Dark Shards, they didn't take Shades, but they could have, which means Kugath is not a good pick here. I refuse to cast this Nurgle build winning. If he starts winning, I am leaving and giving Dark Elves the point out of principle, just so all of you know that. Okay. For the Dark Elves, we have 4 Black Arc Corsairs handbows, 2 Scourge Runner chariots, 3 Dark Ride Pierced crossbows, 3 Cold One Knights, a Dark Rider, and then Marathi with Soul Stealer, Melkots, and her bound Doombolt, the Wand of Krydon. On the other side for Nurgle, we have a build that cannot win. Rot Knight, the Rotting Riders, Rot Knight ROR, Angels of Decay, Death's Heads ROR with a regular Death's Head next to them, 2 dogs, a Nurgling, 2 Marauders. This is going to turn into a Walmart customer becoming a pincushion. As Dark Riders are going to try and charge Nurglings and dogs, already the dogs are going to rout at half HP and the Nurglings aren't feeling too much better. I just saw Marathi overcast something. Ah, there it is. It's a Melkoths onto the Rotting Riders as they fight Cold One Knights on the top side. The overcast of Melkoths, I don't think it gives extra damage. That's like Spirit Lage, right? Where it gives extra range, not extra damage. I believe that's true. But it looks like he just really wanted to get that spell out quickly and punish the Rotting Riders, because he knows that if he can take out the 2 Rot Knights, he has complete mobility advantage, and then he can just kite Kugath around the map and shoot him, which is how you generally beat Kugath. Rotting Riders do beat the Cold One Knights, however, because Murderous Prowess did not get procced. There was not a lot of melee combat ahead of time to proc that. And Morathi, you good? You good, Morathi? And she's trying to rear charge these dogs and take them out, but has definitely gotten more than what she signed up for, as now Rotting Riders and Rot Knights are going to charge downhill and maybe get some damage onto her. Kugath does a little bit of friendly fire to help out the pretty lady on the horse. He kind of forgot what team he's playing for, got a little Slanesh in his eyes, and he's just like, pretty lady must save. Dogs are routing off, but now a full surround from the Rot Knights. And a Rancid Visitation's overcast onto Morathi. Ooh, she needs a Soul Stealer real bad, but she has 25% spell resist because Morathi things, I guess. Okay, she'll be fine. 25% resist should keep her alive. Just barely, but it should. Wand of Crydon cast on the Angels of Decay, really trying to take out those flying skirmishers that could threaten these Dark Rider Peter crossbows. Now again, Cold Knights fighting without Murderous Prowess procced is going to be a bad time, as the Rotting Riders are just wrecking them. And it is hard to proc Murderous Prowess because there's not a lot of melee going on. When you're kiting, it's very hard to get the Dark Elf army passive procced. I'm not saying it's like, wow, bro, just get it procced, man. I'm just saying, since it's not procced, the Cold One Knights aren't their usual Cold One Knight self. Rear charge from dogs. I like this. The Dark Rider Repeater Crossbow is just going to countercharge the dogs, try and knock them out. Ooh, they're not trying to countercharge them. They're moving past them. Okay, that's a bit of a disaster. The only thing you could do is just countercharge the dogs, hit them with your horses, and then your mass impact will do enough damage to spook them, and then you can get out safely. But he didn't see that coming. He tried to path out and it didn't work. Blacker Crosshair Handbows killing Nurgling. Big who cares. One Nurgling dying, not really impactful. Did he use the full kit or what? Kugath's where the money is. I mean, Kugath's just crazy expensive all the time. He has Fleshy Abundance, Rancid Visitations. Elsewhere, while I wasn't looking, Morathi got knocked out, apparently. She has enough leadership to come back, but she's getting chased down by the Angels of Decay. 90 speed to 81, now down to 77, yet somehow they're still keeping up with her. Charge bonus, I know, yada yada, whatever. Scourge Runner is still shooting at Rot Knights. And they're getting a Fleshy Abundance too. Yeah, I think we have some issues here of the Dark Elves spreading out their damage too much. Because they kind of started sniping Kugath and they abandoned that. And now they're shooting at the Rot Knights and kind of abandoned that. And they were shooting at the Angels of Decay and abandoned that. We saw this earlier in a Lizardmen versus Lizardmen game. But like when you're dealing with supreme healing, you have to focus down something and kill it and then move on to the next thing. Spreading your damage just spreads the healing and then everything stays alive. Kugath activated his Discord mod personality. We saw the damsel in distress. He had to help her out. Ah, it's true, dude. True. I swear, if this comes down to France versus Switzerland, because the American teams are memeing their faction picks, I'm never going to watch this channel again. Oh, 100 Days Music. Oh, it's my fault the American teams are memeing. Oh, it's my fault. Oh, okay. That's cool, dude. No, that's cool. But Hume Boy, Nurgle Dark Elves is unplayable for Nurgle. Okay, when you play it like this is wild! Morathi landed into Rot Knights for no reason and then got picked off. And then Morathi ran into the Angels of Decay for no reason and got pushed off the map. And then he's spreading out his damage. He's still spreading out his damage. I'm tilted. I'm tilted off the face of the earth. Why were we shooting Kugath if we were going to stop shooting Kugath? Why are we shooting Rot Knights? Ah! Dark Elves army loss. Am I wrong? No, you're not wrong for thinking it's cool Nurgle won this. It's very cool. I'm just trying to keep it interesting. I'm adding persona. I'm adding the good vibes. I don't know. Kite matchups can sometimes be boring. You never know. So you have to like kind of set up something funny to talk about in case it ends up being lame. It wasn't lame, but I'm just a little inside Hollywood there. I'm like, if this turns into like Scourge Runner and Dark Rider Peter Crossbow slow kite across the map, I have to set something up. Blacker Corsair Handbows did fine. I honestly think this build from Loopy can win. I don't think this is a bad build at all. I disagree with some of the execution. Now, like, here's the serious part. I do generally not like when damage gets spread. Like, serious conversation. We're casting Melkoths onto the Rotting Riders, but then we're casting the Wand of Crydon onto the Angels of Decay, and then we're using Scourge Runner bullets on the third Rot Knight, the second Rot Knight, not the Rotting Riders, and we're using some of the Scourge Runner ammo onto Kugath, and we're using repeater crossbows on the Rotting Riders, but not the Rot Knight, and it's like, what are we doing, right? We gotta focus. Maybe pick 2 targets. We can't be spreading our damage among 4. That's just not gonna work. And we saw that, because Green One was healing up Kugath somehow. I didn't see a fleshy cast onto him, but maybe he did it off screen. But he cast a fleshy onto the Rot Knights that were getting hit. The Rotting Riders used their damage resistance and slow regeneration to stay in it. Kugath got some healing from somewhere, maybe a tier 2 armor ability of Nurgle or something. But everything got kind of low and nothing died. And meanwhile, Green One, on the other side, focused. He killed Marathi. That was his goal. Whenever Marathi landed, Rot Knights were on her. Whenever she didn't land, Angels of Decay were poking her and being annoying. Kugath used his spells, Rants of Visitations Overcast, on Marathi. He knocked Marathi out. He focused on that. And then he picked his next target. We saw on the south side of the fight, there were 2 Dark Rider Peter crossbows. He sent dogs in from behind, Rotting Riders in from the front left, and he sent wounded dogs in from the front right, and Loopy got trapped. So Green One was focusing down specific units and taking them out entirely before moving on to the next thing. Whereas I feel like the Dark Elves are spreading their damage too much. That's my real analysis of the game. Green One played well. Loopy played well. I just don't think he played better than Green One. I think Green One won. So, there's my real non-memeing, non-joking around analysis. Hold on. So, Green One won? Okay. Mexico is on the board. Bam! Next up is Sexy Boy versus Alfredino. In my mind, an auto win for France, but I was surprised in the faction war. Ash knocked out Alfredino in the Skaven versus Beastmen matchup, so... My brain tells me I shouldn't count Alfredino as an auto win for France, but my heart tells me Alfredino's spooky scary. And he's gonna win. Sexy Boy did win our second tryhard qualifier the other day, though. So he's certainly a fearsome combatant. This has the red triangle of shame. We'll see how much it matters, but it has the red triangle of shame. Our Rot Knights are so damn good in this matchup. That's true, but then you could focus fire them down as the Dark Elves. Two Elspeths in one stream. That's true. Alright. Alfredino versus Sexy Boy. Demons of Chaos versus Empire. For the Empire, we have a front line of Free Company Militia, Pistoliers. I think I just saw an Outrider. Some Outriders as well. So it is mass bullet kite from the Empire. Some Spearmen and some Empire Knights in the back. But it is a lot of firewall moving bullets. And then we have Elspeth von Draken with Fate of Buna, Spirit Leech, Death's Timekeeper, and Karfskinning Blast. On the other side for the Demons of Chaos, we have an Exalted Keeper of Secrets of Slaanesh, who's already rampaging Pistoliers to their death into Seekers, Fiends, Seekers, Blue Horrors, Pink Horrors, the Eternal Entourage, Heart Seekers, and the Hellforged Bellowers. But there is the breath attack we were waiting for on the Grey Seer. Half HP already gone as Elspeth launches that attack, 600 value off the top. Also gets rampage straight into the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, but actually the Exalted Keeper of Secrets is like, wait. I wanted you to land, I didn't want you to kill me. Seekers dive into the Empire Knights, but the focus fire of all these Outriders and Free Company Militia does so much damage to them, they just get knocked out. The Empire is out to a crazy early lead as these Free Company Militia are marching up. And actually, Nurgle's PA is in the chat. We saw Nurgle's PA use these earlier in the World Cup versus Demons of Chaos or Slaanesh. I forget if it was just Slaanesh, but They are very good versus Slaanesh type units. Heartseekers and Seekers have 5 and 15 armor respectively and no shields. So these little 450 guys just shooting their pistols at very expensive units can knock a lot of HP off them and usually trade up. Even if they won't win, it's not like we're saying a free company militia will kill a Seeker. Like, look at the damage they're doing on this Heartseeker. That's plenty worth it. That's great. Outriders, firewall moving as long as they're chasing you, pushing back the Keeper of Secrets that just took a Spirit Leech and a Death's Timekeeper. And the next Spirit Leech will kill the Exalted Keeper of Secrets. The next Breath Attack will do over half HP of the Hellforged Bellowers, and then it'll be GG. So I think Elspeth is about to clutch this. It is Conquest. Neither side is touching the point out of a matter of honor. It is a matter of pride between these two players that the Conquest point not factor into this at all, as we're only 2 minutes in and already Elspeth has sniped out so much value from the Keeper of Secrets. And the Empire kite slash charging pistols doing a lot of damage. So I don't know if I call Free Company Militia kite. They're just sprinting at you firing their pistols. Probably shouting like drunken fight songs at you like a rowdy soccer crowd. Just like, come on, you Seeker bastards. You know how it is. You know how they do. And already, Demons of Chaos is going to surrender. I don't blame them at all. I don't think that was bugged from what the players told me when they sent that replay, and they had some choice words about how this matchup went, so I am not shocked that Alfred crushed it that hard. Very solid build. Seemed like he had a good plan in order. For Sexy Boy, I mean, he took a lot of the strong units. It's just difficult to have to sneeze. Oh, it's difficult to keep Seekers alive versus all this stuff. If I were to queue him in Vertical League, I told my opponent I'm only playing Brett or will exit while I get in trouble. I mean, probably if you sign up for a best of 3 and you're only going to play one faction, that's not going to fly. But we do have a best of 1 practice pit where you can play Bretonnia, and that's fine. Or you can play the domination version of our ladder, which is best of 1, and then we're fine. The Men of House Waffle. Free Company Militia. But Sterling's Revenge is already the ROR for the Free Company Militia, and Sterling's Revenge are great. I love their little shout they do. Sterling's Revenge! So. Alfredino making quick work of the Demons of Chaos takes France to 2-1. The Hellforged Bellowers couldn't bail them out of that situation. Next up is Rocket versus Sol Invictus, and this one does not have the spooky, scary red triangle of doom. You don't have to worry about that. France takes a win. Go update the little scoreboard thing. Boom. Boom. There we are. Can Rocket or Catholic get a win? Or will Mexico come back with Butcherbird and Sol Invictus? Find out right now on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, wow. More Demons of Chaos versus Kislev. Well, the Empire health bar is still all green. Because the replay was older and bugged, so when it ends, sometimes it just ends dumbly. But, yeah, it's just an old replay bug. The game played out roughly that way. Alright. For the Demons of Chaos of Rocket, if you want France to go to the finals, they can clutch it here with the Demons of Chaos win. We have 4 Nurglings, one of which is the Frolickers Bubonic. We have Fiends, Seekers, Chaos Furies of Slaanesh, and more Seekers and Fiends. We have Svark, the Feathered Prince, for his net, blue fire, and pink fire. On the side of Kislev, 4 Kislevite Horse Archers. And then we have some Kossovite Dervishes, Winged Lancers, more Dervishes, and then 5 Kossar Spears, so hybrid Spear Archers. And an Ice Witch of Tempest, Hawks of Mishka, and then Guardian Call. Interesting he took the Freezing Winds, minus 25% speed for the entire enemy army when you cast a spell, but it's an expensive spell, so it's not like he's going to be spamming it. Similar to Alfredino's build in a way versus the Demons of Chaos. Just a lot of non-armor piercing shots. Flood the demons with hits is usually the best way to deal with them. Fiend's gonna get charged by Dervishes and the Ice Witch, trying to get a bit of damage out with the free charge. Frostbite slowing them down if they wanted to back off, but other Fiends are coming in. I think this is just a bait to get the Fiends to take a fight right in front of all these Kossars, because now I imagine these Kossars are gonna get new attack orders right here. Gets a good damage down as a Hawks of Mishka comes in, and also it'll do a little bit of damage. I don't think it'll do too much to Fiends. Fiends only have 16 models. Yeah, it's not crazy damage, but the Discouraged is quite nice. Forces them away as other Dervishes and Winged Lancers are coming in. Already the Nurgling frontline is suffering quite badly in HP. They're going to start Demonic Instability crumbling soon, and the Kossars have now gotten orders to shoot at the Fiends. So these very expensive 1,300 gold Fiends. One's already almost dead, and the Discourage from the Hawks of Mishka makes them actually close to Demonic Instability crumbling. 19 leadership on them. 19 leadership is still some, but, you know, they're close. Close to crumbling. Chaos Furies trying to take a fight. Is in the distance, we have Dervishes holding back other Fiends and Nurglings, but so far Kislev's build is doing quite well. In comes a Gaze of Fate onto the Dervishes. Minus 40 melee attack and a net, I guess, but there's not a lot of punishment there, right? It's just kind of a net on them for the sake of a net. Snow Leopard Summon comes through, is going to get some damage onto Seekers and stuff, but the Demons of Chaos are taking so much damage in this fight, and they're dealing a bit back too, but the Archers are just happily shooting away. In the distance, Chaos Furies and Nurglings also going to die off as the Fiends continue to churn through. Cosmic Dervishes over there. And a lot of people might be wondering what makes Demons so strong if they crumble like this. Demons are strong because they can take a lot of wildly different builds that you have to prepare for. Like, you can get Soul Grinder or Hell Cannon kited, or there can be an air cheese with the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch or Changebringers, or there can be a blob build or things like that. But individually, their units aren't amazing. Demons are still pretty easy to take out because of Demonic Instability crumbling. So if you correctly guess what's coming your way, you can usually deal with it. And it looks like Sol Invictus had a pretty good idea of what was going to happen here. His Horse Archers and his Kossars doing well. I think if he had been kited by like an Exalted Flamer and the Hellforged Bellers, he would have been in trouble, because then he had only 4 Horse Archers and 5 Infantry Archers to try and counter that. So I think he could have gotten run around the map. But this full charge build from the Demons of Chaos was super well countered by the massive Archers that also have spears, the light Horse Archers, and then a decent amount of light cavalry as well, just to hold these guys in place while they get shot. It's pretty huge. All the Archers now getting attacks onto Zvarek. Just want to take down his HP a bit, get him a little bit lower, trigger army losses, and end this quickly, rather than finish off that last Seeker. They're not as important. Furies aren't as important. Balance of Power is only held up by Zvarek, so might as well just take him out. Kossars continue to move up, continue to fire. And that is going to be GG. Mexico ties it back up to 2-2. Nurglings, unfortunately, just died. I am generally a Nurgling hater. Now, as a Demons of Chaos army, if you need a frontline at all, you pretty much have to bring Nurglings, but still, for 350 gold, they generally just kind of suck and die. I'm not one of the Nurgling gang. Fiends got isolated and picked off. Kossovite Dervishes were the real heroes here. They're not going to get crazy value, but just throwing a cheap light cavalry at Fiends to hold them in place, and then they go unbreakable and can't die for 30 seconds. Well, they can die, but they can't rout for 30 seconds. It just takes the Fiends so long to win that fight, and they're getting shot by the Kossars the whole time. Kossars all roughly paid for themselves. I guess a couple didn't, but they still had full HP. Wing Lancers did fine. The Horse Archers did fine. Then the Ice Witcher Tempest caused a lot of Demonic Instability crumbling. Okay, comes down to the last game, which I have to load up the Total Tavern mod pack. Map pack mod. Mod of the map pack. You know what? You heard me. Bam! Comes down to last game. Butcherbird versus Catholic Alcoholic. If it matters to you, out of the whole tournament, 21 teams, I ranked Mexico as number 1. I ranked France as number 4. I ranked Swiss as number 2, and Swiss is waiting in the finals for this. So personally, I predict Mexico to win. Both sides very good, though. Catholic Alcoholic is a very strong domination player. Butcherbird's a strong player in general, but I don't know how much he honestly plays domination. My big thing is I thought Segos would beat Razel. Segos is extremely good, and Razel doesn't play as much anymore as far as I know. So I kind of thought that one would go the other way. But last, Gracier OP, Skaven OP. See if Butcherbird clutches it anyway. Activate Total Tavern. Start. Start. And there are a lot of posts in Discord right now. Final game of this semifinal. Dun, 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 dun. Kislev for the French versus Warriors of Chaos. There's no red triangle. We will not be fooled again. We will not be fooled again. This one is going to be correct. Alright, just catch up on chat.
Again, Kislev has faced
By the who?
worse than
Yeah.
this rabble. The motherland endures.
Okay, the starting army of Catholic Alcoholic and the hopes of France. We have Tsarina Katerin on her sled, and then a normal Frostworm. That's a little crazy. She has Death Frost and Frost Blades. And then to back her up, we have some Kislevite warriors, armored Kossars, and some Kossar spears, but mostly a melee-focused front line to run forward with a Patriarch in the middle. Does provide healing and then perfect vigor. On the other side, Sartorial, the Ever-Watcher for the Warriors of Chaos, flying around with Final Transmutation, Searing Doom, and stand your ground in the Rock of Inevitability, so he will be pretty good at jumping into fights, providing a debuff to the enemy, a buff to you, and then leaving. Elsewhere, we have the Rotting Riders, Marauders, some Chaos Warriors, and Aspiring Champions, so a slow infantry push, but getting out a very expensive Cav piece with slow healing, and giving out a very expensive Caster Lord that can fly right away. So, Warriors of Chaos are going to want to slowly filter in more cheap stuff or more mobility, while the Kislevites probably need to factor in more range. Do they summon a second Frostworm? It feels a little bold when your opponent brought Final Transmutation, but I suppose the Frostworm and Katerin are all fast enough that if you cast Final Trans, they could separate out if they, micro well. I know last time we saw Catholic Alcoholic in this tournament playing Domination, he did form a Kislevite box with Katerin double Frostworm or something similar. So he made a box that touched 2 of the points, and then from there just held a defensive position, and Slaanesh tried to surround him and took too long and then died. I acknowledge that, but this map seems a bit more spread out. It's hard to hold 2 points that way. And here we go. There's the first Final Transmutation, Overcast onto Katerin, and immediately, Catholic just takes her one way, takes the Frostworm the other way. You gotta mitigate that damage, but it is still good damage onto Katerin. Taxes a lot of her HP. Still good cast overall. 600 value from that one spell. Good play from both sides. As the Rotting Riders and Marauders get set up here. Frostworm and some Kislevite warriors trying to hold the point for a bit. Rotting Rider's going to surround this Frostworm, though. Might have overextended. Yeah, I didn't expect them just to charge him, so he's going to take a bit of damage. Needs to fall back soon. The Kislevite warriors need to move up. Help out. Their halberds will do really well against the Rotting Riders. Now Bird is summoning in a lot of stuff. We have Hellstriders and a bunch of Marauder Horsemen with Throwing Axes. The Throwing Axes, good arm-piercing shots, of course, but their Arc of Fire is terrible. They'll need to fight something that's already in melee and sitting still. First time watching a stream. What up, Matthew? Welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you stick around. If you don't enjoy it, don't tell me. Just leave quietly. I don't need that kind of pressure. I don't need people just telling me you suck and then leaving. That's mean. Don't do that. Hey, hey. No, we have fun here. We joke around. We have a good time.
The enemy has captured one of your victory
The
points.
victory, oh, they captured one of our victory points. I guess the game's just over then, advisor man. Shut up. Shut up. We're fine. Kislev's chilling. Rotting Riders do push away from this point, though. It looks like they're trying to come over and say hi to Catherine. In comes Zarthoriel, casting a nasty Final Transmutation. Yes, he is. So now the Frostworms have to get to safety, but Katerin is running away from Zarthoriel, so she happens to be going the same direction as them. He will take a couple ticks of damage, but not too many. Zarthoriel is down. He has Standard Die out, buffing up his own Chaos Warriors and Aspiring Champions, also buffing himself. No Rock of Inevitability just yet, or it just wore off. Hard to tell. Zarthoriel's taking a bit of a fight. Now he is fighting 2 Frostworms and Katerin, which is not a good time. Rock of Inevitability is out, but he does need to get to safety. We do have 2 Skirmish Cav throwing in their throwing axes at the Frostworm, getting some decent damage out, but there comes a Death Frost, and the Rotting Riders need to charge back in and try and save their lord. If Zarthoriel gets killed, it is going to be a bad time. 2 Hellstriders getting reinforced from the Warriors of Chaos, some more anti-large light cav being summoned in. Elsewhere, those anti-large light cav are fighting Wing Lancers and doing okay, but Zarthoriel is still in a bad way. Now, Katerin is very low. Frostworms are taking some serious damage, so if Zarthoriel can get to safety, if he can just become a caster for the rest of this game, he'll be fine. But if Kislev completes the snipe onto him, it is going to be so bad for the Warriors of Chaos. They'll lose their caster and their leadership for the rest of this battle, because I just don't see Butcherbird piling up enough supplies to resummon a full Zarthoriel. That does not seem likely. Celiax Lullaby trying to heal up everybody in this big old blob fight, but still the Frostworms are taking just an impossible amount of damage. They are very wounded, and Zarthoriel is taking a ton of damage as well. I want to see another Final Transmutation here. He did undercast the last one, but he overcast the first, so I think it's off cooldown by now. I don't know if he has the Winds of Magic by now. The Marauder Horsemen are living their best lives, just getting free throwing axe shots in here, but overall it is a bit of a disaster for Bird in general. I'd much rather be Kislev at this point, since they're healing, since they're doing all that stuff. But in comes the Final Transmutation. Is it overcast or just undercast? Probably undercast. Probably just needs to spam it out. There it is. Huge Final Transmutation. Hits all 4 of the expensive single entities and a bunch of infantry. Glorious value there for the Warriors of Chaos and just what they needed. Now again, it was undercast. It's not going to win the whole game or anything, but he really did need that cast, and we can see 1 Frostworm already getting pushed off. If the Warriors of Chaos can rally some cavalry or something to chase it off, they don't even have to. It shatters, actually, which is very nice. Elsewhere, we've been focusing on the blob fight, because the blob fight was very important. Bird is summoning in some more Chaos Warriors to try and push towards point 1, which Kislev have secured. Warriors of Chaos still hold points 2 and 3. Damage value is incredibly even, as Kislev tried to heal up their guys, but the Patriarch is not the Patriarch of old. He doesn't have insane, impossible to match healing or anything like that. So it's not like the damage value is fraudulent, because Kislev has healed so much. You need 7,000 more damage value to even compare. It's pretty fine. What is problematic, though, is the Warriors of Chaos are just depleted. They're depleted fortune. Now, Butcherbird has a lot of supplies. Catholic only has 400. He has 1,400, and he's desummoning some units, so he might get a little bit back soon. But Zarthoriel is getting crazy low. Katerin is shooting him with her little ice bow, and he might demonic his ability crumble in a second as he takes some pistol shots from the armored Cossars. Catholic is determined not to let Zarthoriel survive this fight. Standard Die is popped for leadership he desperately needed, and he is now trying to path away. Just get to safety and use Zarthoriel as a caster for the rest of the game. The Rotting Riders are also a very expensive piece, and they're trying to heal up a little bit, but they are too wounded to really be a meaningful force in the rest of this game, as they get stuck just fighting Wing Lancers and things in the woods. We haven't covered too much of what's been summoned because there's been just crazy action right here. But we do have some more Armored Cossars limping up. And Bird still had 1,000 or so tickets. He now summons Chaos Warriors and Aspiring Champions at the same time. Really needs more battlefield presence, it looks like, and he is summoning those guys in. Kislev retakes point 2. An unholy amount of troops sitting on top of it. Point 3 is wide open. The Warriors of Chaos are getting pushed off the battlefield in every metric except for these 2 summoned elite units coming back in now. For Kislev, they have more battlefield presence, they have more troops around, but they're cheaper troops, and their main big things are more damaged. So the Warriors of Chaos going to rely on some heavy metal to take this out. Death Frost will kill Zarthoriel. Can a Final Transmutation do the same? No. Silix Lullaby heals up Katerin for a little bit. Final Trans is not going to kill her, but Zarthoriel will die from that Death Frost, guaranteed. There he goes. Bum, bum. There he goes again. Rotting Rider's going to rout because Zarthoriel's dead. So are these Hellstriders. So are the Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. And all of a sudden, things are looking really bad for the Warriors of Chaos. Damage value is equivalent, but I just don't feel that matters. At this point, Kislev has gotten enough healing that you can kind of throw in that token, like, damage value's equal, but one side's been healing and the other side hasn't been. That's true. That's true. But Kislev just has like a Griffin Legion. They have some Armored Costers, Kislev Warriors. The Warriors of Chaos are down to just 2 Chaos Warriors, one of which is half HP, a full health Aspiring Champion, and 1 Hell Strider. That's your whole force. I mean, not looking ideal. Both sides have similar supplies in the back pockets. It's not even like, Bird's about to summon something crazy. Enjoy seeing your Dom casts, Bob. Thanks, buddy. Surprised not to see any Streltsy here. The Aura is great mid-game summon. What up? Thanks, Bastion Horseman. Still doing the 5v5 model? Yeah. Yeah, that's what this is, yeah. I think at this point it's going to be a slow bleed out to death for the Warriors of Chaos. Kislev have achieved a triple cap, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. They just have more troops, more momentum. And the Warriors of Chaos aren't exactly the type of faction that can summon stuff that'll crazy change the outcome of a game. You know? Not like... I don't know Domination that well, but, you know, Way Watchers, if you play amazing with them, they can do a lot, and if you play like crap with them, they do nothing. The Warriors of Chaos are much more of a consistent stat stick faction. Stuff you summon generally does its job as well as it does every time. You know, there's not a lot of high micro crazy clutch units you can summon in. As Bird is saving up supplies, he's got about 2,000. He's trying to summon Sartorial. That's the only possible thing he's saving up that much money for. That or he's already soft surrendered. But I don't think he's he's the type of player that would actually surrender, not just soft surrender and wait for the game to end. But I think he is actually saving up for Sartorial, which is weird. I guess he must have a lot of wins of magic and wants to just kill off Katarin and the Frostworm with the final transmutation and hope on terror routing stuff. But how are you going to save enough tickets, summon Sartorial, then summon enough infantry or anything to capture the points and win? I don't know about that. Oh, we saved up for the Rotting Riders. Okay. Not a bad choice. I'm just kind of processing. Okay. Catholic Alcoholic is ahead on the gold damage value. As we have said several times, he also had the benefit of healing. So he is further ahead than you would expect, but not by a crazy amount. If the Rotting Riders can get a good charge onto Katarin, they can kill her quite quickly. We have some other, looks like, Chaos Warrior summons. No, just basic Marauders. So Bird's going to probably spam summon Marauders at this point and hope the Rotting Riders can make enough space that Marauders can capture the points. I don't think he can save up for Chaos Warriors anymore, though. We're at the point in the game where he needs bodies on points quickly. Chaos Warriors are too slow, and they're too expensive to truly spam them out. Rotting Riders trigger Fire Blood on the charge. Catholic still has a triple cap. He is slowly ticking to victory. We get some more Marauder Horsemen throwing those. That's fine. Fast, decent damage, still relatively cheap. Wing Lancers just avoiding the Rotting Riders. Don't want to take a fight with them, as the Armored Costers get some free pistol poke. But Catholic is just making him work for it. He's not trying to give him a committed fight anywhere. He just is like, listen, I know your Rotting Riders can kill everything over here if I give them time. But they can't kill everything over here quickly, capture this point, get over here, kill everything over here quickly, capture this point, get over here, kill everything quickly. So I'm just going to play cagey. I'm not going to give you the straight up fight you want, and I'm going to make you dick around here forever without getting the fight you truly desire. Good charge in for the Rotting Riders, get decent damage on the Armored Cossars, and now they're going to fall back after cycle charging. Marauders get charged by Wing Lancers, and the Wing Lancers somehow end up like really deep in the formations. Now they're surrounded by Marauders and Marauder Horsemen throwing axes. Hellstrider summoned out too. Bird needs to do something quickly as that triple cap is getting a lot of tickets towards the victory. Isolates and kills off a whole Winged Lancer. That is not nothing. Is it enough? I don't know. As the Frostworm and the Patriarch regroup, the Patriarch probably doesn't have any more Silix cast. I feel like he would have used the third one a while ago, so yeah, it's gone. Frostworm and him are actually that damaged. Bird's gonna ride out into the open ground, but again, just like not being able to take anything fast enough is definitely dooming him. He's already at the point where he needs a triple cap to win, and yeah, there we go. He surrenders. Seeing the writing on the wall. The Rot Knights weren't able to like crush that point super fast or anything. The Thoriel got good damage value for only being summoned once. Final transes were quite good. I don't know why that Marauder has a Zinchian barrier, but it does. Marauder Horsemen throwing axes did fine. On the other side for Kislev, Katerin on her sled got almost 3,000 value. Disvite Warriors and Armored Cossars did great. Frostworms did fine. Patriarch provided a lot of healing, of course. The double Frostworm seems to be strong and dumb. So that'll be a France 3-2. Where's the scorecard? Alright, France 3, Mexico 2. Go to the desktop, bam, bam, boom, Catholic with a win. And we got the perfect series. You got the boom, 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 boom. Also good is like the boom, 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 boom. Alright, worst series is you win the 3 in a row, and then the other 2 get 2, but then you already know who won, and it's the worst. Right? Right. Now you might be like, the stream's over. The stream's done, Human Boy. No, it's not. No, it is not. We still have a finals. France has to go fight the Swiss. And that'll be next week, Saturday, November 78th. Just kidding, it's right now. It's right now. Wow, and the crowd goes wild. Oh my goodness. It's happening right now. That's crazy. Cheesy Pete's. I don't know why I was stalling. I just... Boom. 3-2. France versus Switzerland in the finals. Let's pull it up. Boom! No, don't save that. All right. Reminding you again, because we've gone through this several times, but it's been one stream, so you don't need the long version. 5 players, each side. They predetermined the global bans before the tournament even started. Switzerland is bringing their Dwarf ban to the finals. France brings Ogre Kingdom's ban to the finals. France did switch out Rocket Row for Persian Warrior, because they had a 6-man roster they've told me about since the start, and every round they have swapped out 1 player, as all their 6 players wanted to play. That is fine. Players blind pick before the finals, so before knowing what your opponent's order is, you send me your order, and then you find out who you're fighting, so it's not like meta gaming, like, oh, Pigman is versus Rocket? Well, Rocket's not great in that matchup, so let's swap out Persian. Nope, these were both blind submitted. And the most hype for me is we do get Sepa versus Alfredino, which is actually pretty clutch. Because that was the Warpstone Cup finals, the biggest tournament I've ever hosted on CA's channel. We did all that stuff. Finals was Sepa versus Alfredino, and it came down to a Zinch mirror that Alfredino ended up winning. So let's get that rematch going. We know none of these replays will be corrupted because the finals were played way after the patch came out, so there will be no bad replay shenanigans. I'm just reloading the game without the Total Tavern map pack just because people have told me it's not a problem, but I'm paranoid and it takes me like 5 seconds to boot up the game, so why don't we all just calm down? I know for a fact the Swiss sent me... Switzerland. There we go. Couldn't find the Z. France on the other side. This is the first series. I don't know the winner, because I didn't have to organize any games after it. So I've been avoiding spoilers as best as possible. Now somebody out there, and you know who you are, you tried to spoil this for me. But I'm pretending I didn't happen to see that message that spoiled this for me. I'm pretending I don't know who wins. I've never seen these games before. I don't know what the final score is, because I didn't need to know. I mean, if you didn't catch that through the subtext, I did get a spoiler where someone was like, here's my replay, and that clutches the victory for blank. And I was like, oh, rip. I know someone wins. We'll get there. We'll get there. This has the red flag because it's domination. Okay, I'm done. It's not broken. Fine. What are we doing? Zypher versus Razel first? I can go find that. I can find Zypher versus Razel. There's Zypher. There's Razel. There's Vampire Counts. There's Skaven. What? Do it. Spoilers Japan 1. Got it. I just love bringing up the curse. Patrick, That's the history, though. If I'm gonna say you're the second best player in the world, which I've been saying over and over again, I have to mention that you got, why I say that, and why I say that is you got second in the biggest tournament I've ever hosted. You gotta give the context, otherwise it'll just be like Sepa's some guy. Sepa's some freaking guy. You shouldn't root for Sepa. Sepa's not any good because Sepa's never done anything, so Sepa's not good. Sepa's bad. No, Sepa got second in the biggest tournament I've ever hosted. He is the current second best player in the world. And people, to beat him, you got to beat him in a big tournament. But that comes with the context, brother. You knew he was going to win, rigged.
I command thee to attend. Bring thy swords. Reap death.
Vampire counts in the final? Wild.
The dance macabre. It is time.
Wild.
The dead.
Okay, what do we got? Skaven for France. We have Night Runners. And Gutter Runner Slingers. That's weird. Gutter Runners and Night Runners Slingers, then Night Runners and Gutter Runners regular. Rat Ogres, Poison Globes, Gracier of Ruin with Dreaded 13th and Howling Warp Gale, and then we have Blightscab's Plague Pack, which I do not like them in this matchup. I know they have magic damage and they have Contaminated and they have Rabble Rouse, so ITP for everyone around them. That's all neat, but Fate of Buna, Gaze of Nagash, and Dragon Breath attacks do so much damage to them. I just generally think they're too squishy to take in this matchup. All right, and this side for the Vampire counts, we have Fellbats, Vargeists, Black Knights with Lances and Barding, Dire Pack, Zombies and Skeleton Warriors, Cryptors, Necromancer, a Mortis Engine, and Cryptors. This looks like Salinator's build that he took into me in the Faction War, Skaven versus Vampire counts, and it is very effective. In comes the Gaze of Nagash onto the Blightscab's Plague Pack. And there goes a quarter of their HP. Nice job for them to turn towards him, though, because if he were turned away, it would do a lot more damage. So good job by the Skaven player to turn towards you. VC good into Skaven, not meme. Yeah, it's Skaven. VC, this is one of their last good matchups. I think it is playable for the Skaven. I don't think it's unwinnable for the Skaven at all. Salinator and I had a pretty close game. But this is one of the last matchups that I think is truly Vampire counts favored, even if not by a ton. Why is everyone memeing? This is a tryhard tournament. People aren't memeing. Also, another thing you have to remember is this is Razel, right? Okay, yeah, it's Razel. So we have a Fate of Buna coming in, so I don't want to miss too much of the game, but I do want to answer this about like the memeing stuff. People also get mad at me when I play in tournaments when I pick Greenskins or Skaven and I lose and I'm not playing like the OP factions. Not every player can just pick up every faction and instantly win. Razel's an old-time Legacy player who played a lot of Skaven and Beastmen, and he's very good at them. But he may not have the time to like pick up what's new and powerful right now. So sometimes it's better to play a faction you're better with, even if the faction is lower, than to play a good faction poorly, right? So that also factors into what picks are being done, is what are these players good at, and what are these players comfortable with? So, just something to think about if you're like, wow, people are trolling. It's like, I mean, dude, listen, I'm terrible at Demons of Chaos. That's why I never play them. They're strong right now, and I acknowledge that, but I'm a terrible Demons of Chaos player, so I'll never play them. I could learn how to play them, but I personally don't find them very fun, so I don't want to learn them, because I don't want to treat this game like a job, or I'll burn out really fast. So I'm just, like, praying that Demons of Chaos just become bad, so I don't have to deal with them anymore. Alright, Breath Attack down the side. Fate of Buna took out an entire Poison Wind Globe. A Breath Attack from Manfred has taken half the HP off the Blightscab's Plague Pack, and that's already depleting them quite a lot before they ever see melee combat. In comes the Mortis Engine. We're going to need a lot of Slingers to take out the Mortis Engine. Rat Ogres can do okay against it if it has no zombie support, but it is very hard to kill a Mortis Engine in melee. Globe's doing a lot of damage to Cryptors. Those are great throws and dealing a lot of damage to zombies. Night Runners and Gutter Runners in the back pushing off Fellbats and Vargeists, as is their job. Now this is what Salinator used against me that was so hard to deal with, is the Black Knights, but I didn't take any Globes, and you can see that Globes do generally do quite well against heavy cavalry, so those Black Knights aren't having quite the field day they had against my Skaven, because I didn't have anything to stop them. The Dire Pack dive in on the Poison Globes. Their anti-large is useless here. Their non-armor piercing is taking a long time to kill Poison Globes. Poison Globes do have 100 armor. They are not messing around. Howling Warp Gale locks Manfred in place, but he has landed. He is causing the terror he needs to as the Mortis Engine continues to churn through the Skaven lines. Zombies and Skeleton Warriors, summons or not, getting through here. But here comes the Blightscab's Plague Pack with their AoE, ITP, making sure nobody terror routes as Fellbats fade away. Blightscab's getting decent damage onto the Mortis Engine. That does get a little Invocation to Heck. Slingers are all throwing at it. That is a lot of dangerous Slingers. Night Runners and Gun Runners don't mess around. I generally don't think they're an amazing unit, but in this matchup they're okay. And they do more damage than Skaven Slaves by a little bit. So that much Focus Fire will really put a hurt on the Mortis Engine. You can see it's falling quite low. Balance of Power is worse for the Vampire counts than I would think it should be at this point in time. A lot of Skaven are routing. And the Skaven put their back very close to the wall, which is going to be problematic for them. As more of their units route, they might go straight off before rallying. Now, Manfred and the Vampire Counts are experts at coming back from a deficit on the Balance of Power. Their late game healing and kite is pretty darn insane as a breath attack goes down the line, mostly blocked by trees, but got a couple hits on the Poison Wind Globes. It might be enough to get them to rout. Blightscab's Plague Pack still in the middle, still grinding away, still providing that ITP, and this is the exact situation you want them for. I am generally a Blightscab's hater, and I think that's been clear every time they come up. I dismiss them. But if they stay away from the Mortis Engine, if Manfred's not breath attacking them anymore, if they're just sitting in a melee grind, then they're great. They do a lot of damage. They provide ITP to keep the Rat Ogres in the fight. They're doing a really good job. So the Mortis Engine needs to find its way back over there and get rid of them once and for all, so you can really start breaking the Skaven right flank. Because the Blightscabs are all that's keeping this flank together. Without them, these Rat Ogres would have routed. They wouldn't be here. And then you just have these Night Runners running away from zombies and stuff. Mortis Engine, heal cap has appeared, but we're getting to the danger zone where a lot of the ranged units are compromised or too low to do significant damage, and the Rat Ogres are too low to stand and fight with the Mortis Engine. They'll tear out away from it too quickly, or they'll just get drained down. And that is what happened for me. I couldn't finish the dang Mortis Engine, so we'll see if the damage the Skaven have done so far is enough to clutch it out somewhere. But I am getting so scared for this game as the Vampire Counts continue to press in. Those dang zombie summons are infinite. Not literally, but they feel like it, and they never fade away. Manfred's going to get back in the sky, but the globes can't throw because there's zombies on top of them. Gutter Runners and Night Runners running low on ammunition, and they're all pushed so close to the edge of the map that if they get routed one more time, they will go straight off. For the Vampire Counts, however, not a lot of mobility left to be chasing stuff off. The Black Knights are gone as far as I can see. The Fellbats, the Vargeist are all gone. And a Dreaded 13th summon in the middle of these zombies does good damage. Some of them are summons, whatever. I mean, you gotta kill them. The zombies, they gotta die eventually somehow. Just cast the spells. Yeah, there's no Vargeist, there's no Crypt Horrors. So Manfred is the fastest thing left for the Vampire Counts, and then it's a bunch of chaff and the Mortis Engine, but the Mortis Engine is so dangerous. It's draining down the Blightscabs again, it's draining down the Globes, it's draining down Night Runners as these Gutter Runners and Night Runners 360 shooting the last of their volleys into the Mortis Engine, but that'll take it down to like half HP, and then nothing left will damage it. Now some Globes got one final volley off before routing again, and now them routing next to these Gutter Runners, I wouldn't be surprised if they routed the Gunner Runners because they're next to routing allies, so these guys might start a circle route together. But one leadership keeps the Gutter Runners in it, and they're going to turn around and fire. Manfred's still getting rid of the Rat Ogres. Manfred can solo out the Grey Seer in a melee fight pretty easily. Uses another zombie summon. How many do you have left? 2! How dare you have 2, you piece of garbage? But the Mortis Engine's getting very low. Can you finish it off? That Storm Vermin is fraudulent. Remember, it is fake. It is not real. There are Night Runners up on the hill that are real and need to be given new orders to get back into the fight. These Night Runners throw on guard mode while surrounded by zombies and skeleton warriors. They're doing everything they can to shut down the Mortis Engine, which is starting to crumble now, but it rallies as the Pit Fighters' Helves Deep come back in. Manfred sees the danger, makes sure his Mortis Engine will be alive, tries to land on the Pit Fighters from behind. He really wants to spike their leadership down. It looks like he's actually just going to abandon the Mortis Engine and give himself a heal. Now, I don't know if it matters. The balance of power is turning, and as I said, the Skaven put their own backs to the white line, so the Vampire Counts have just been crushing them slowly back and back and back, pushing them into the white line, and now they have to do their last stand right next to their worst enemy, the white line that makes all your units disappear if they cross it. Another zombie summon is coming out from Manfred. The Grey Seer casts his final ringing bell to try and keep his troops in it, throws out another Scorch, but cancels it. Instead for Dreaded 13th. Dreaded 13th can do a lot of damage to single entities when it blows up directly underneath them. Does a little bit to the Necromancer, but I've seen it take out like a third of Manfred's HP before. Manfred gets Howling Warp Gale locked in it. This is a cool trick. This is nice from Razel. It's good play. But I do think Manfred, as soon as the Howling Warp Gale wears off, he is going to path out of here. He's going to back into the sky. He's going to keep Manfred in the air until the Storm Vermin wear out. The Vampire Counts have nothing but time. They have all the time in the world. They can wait for that Storm Vermin summon to fade. They'll let it fight zombies, and then Manfred will land when it's gone. So this is classic Vampire Counts. Just, you've got time. Play with it. You're patient. You do whatever. Manfred's still trying to get out. His heal cap has appeared, but he has plenty of health And he is slowly pathing through these rat ogres that are surrounded by enemies that even might rout soon. Bracier chases him, tries to bait Manfred. He's like, no, 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 turn around, fight me. Come on, fight me. Fight me in these halberds. Do it, coward. Manfred's not. He's going to get back up into this guy. He'll be just fine. The fact that he's now flying and not dead, it was a long shot from the Skaven. I'm not saying it was like, Manfred almost died there. But the fact that he got back into the sky and he's safe and sound, I don't know why he's landing right now. That feels a little overconfident. Now he's going to get netted again next to these halberds. But I was going to say, as soon as Manfred got back in the sky, it was GG, the Vampire Counts win. He's just tempting fate. But there we go. Storm Vermin fade away. And that is GG. Skaven lose. Is this white line camping from the Skaven? If someone was going to call it, they needed to call it like a week ago when this game was played. And no, it hurt them a lot more than it helped them, so it doesn't seem like it even mattered. Good try by the Skavinos. Yeah, it was a good try. It was a good try. It was a good solid attempt from them, but the Salinator build is still very powerful. Yeah, Mortis Engine did good. Manfred did great. For Razlo's, Gracier did okay. Lightscap's Plague Pack, they did fine. I know they're not going to pay for themselves, but they honestly held together a Skaven flank for a very long time. Globes did okay. Gutter Runners did fine. Rat Ogres did fine. Long Paltery, that's a good way of winning. Vampires seem really OP. They should be nerfed. Ah, dude, they should be nerfed. Yeah, screw them. Take that, vampires. So that is one win. Team Switzerland. Let's grab the global bands, because then my my marker also gets an outline. It looks fancy. Boom! Look at how fancy that looks. Look at it. Look at it. Let's do it again, just for fun. Boom! Look at that. Try it one more time. Bam! Oh my gosh. Maybe one more. Let's do it with the straight line function so it looks even more professional. Boom. Boom. Wow. One more time, just for the kids. Boom. 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 Sideways check mark. Looks like a little guy. Give him a little eye. Hey, it's me. I'm the little guy. I got a little tooth. Look at my little tooth. I want to get another little tooth. Bam. Oh, no, it's not a tooth. Oh, there we go. It's a little tooth. Little guy. Okay. All right, let's get serious. Focus up, guys. It's the World Finals. We can't screw around anymore. Let's draw a little stick man. Oh, little stick man. Look at little stick man. Yeah. Okay. No. We're focusing up. So who got the point? Razel? All right, cool. Razel gets the point. Alfredine gets the point. Pigman gets the point. Olaf gets the point. Comes down to the last game. Let's just cast the last game.
Okay, fine. I'll just cast the games.
Zypher gets his point. Back to the scorecard. Need to actually give the Swiss the one. Bam. I'm looking for Sepa versus Alfredino. There we go. Demons of Chaos and Lizardmen. Someday hummus is going to crack completely and no one will have any idea. You're gosh darn right. Alright, Sepa versus Alfredino. For Sepa and the Lizardmen, a front line of skink skirmishers and chameleon skinks, so 6 360 shooting units. And then a bunch of Cold One type cavalry, feral Cold Ones, Cold One Riders, Cold One Spear Riders. Then we have a Salon of Shadows with Melkoths, Banishment, and Blood Statue of Despite, a Solar Engine for the supportive shots, and then we have a Flock of Doom Skink Priest. On the other side, for the Demons of Chaos, a couple Nurglings here and there, a Hellforged Bellowers, Eternal Entourage, Seekers, Heartseekers, Angels of Decay, more Seekers, more Heartseekers. And Zvark the Feather Prince for his net, blue and pink fires. Golden Riders trying to catch Heartseekers on the high ground. In comes a big blob fight right away. The Eternal Entourage Shrek one of the Cold One Spear Riders. There's also Feral Cold Ones nearby, and a rear charge instance from Svark is big damage from the Demons of Chaos, but they're also taking a lot on the Eternal Entourage. Honestly, still a decent trade here from the Lizardmen, considering the value of the units in question. Now, that is terrible. That one, full Demons of Chaos win. Looks like they take out an entire Cold One Spear Rider for almost free. But over here, this was a bit more mixed. Seekers fighting other Golden Riders on the high ground. It looks like the Seekers are getting the better of it. Melkoth, Mystifying Miasma, and the Eternal Entourage might seal their fate, might get them low enough they just Demonic Instability crumble. In comes a Prediction Banishment, trying to catch some of the Seekers moving forward. Alfredino starts to dodge it and does mostly get away with it as the Hellforge Bellowers turn and try and fire at a blob of Cold Ones, but it's in too close. It is in melee. It's hard to turn and fire, and now it's obstructed by its own Seekers. There's a Flock of Doom plus a 3v1 means those Seekers are probably going to die. Svark lands onto the Salon to get some free value out while the Angels of Decay move around. They probably want to shoot this blob of Cold Ones as well, as the Hellforge Bellowers are still trying to fire and they just can't see anything. Angels of Decay actually going to go into melee onto this blob, along with Svark, trying to terror out away the Golden Riders and Golden Spear Riders and let the Seekers chase them down in the distance, I suppose. Seekers win on the high ground, Seekers in the background also doing fine, though. We still have 6 Skirmish Skinks firing in on the lowly armored, low shields demons, as we've discussed in previous matchups. Hellforge Bellowers does get a good shot on the Cold One Riders, off in the distance. Vark is stuck in the melee fight, and getting surrounded and shot at by all these Skinks is going to be very, very damaging for the Demons of Chaos. They're not winning versus the Cold Ones as fast as they need to be getting out of here in time. Vark's getting very low. And for Sepa's Cold One Cavalry, they are almost spent, almost entirely dead, but they have held for long enough for the just complete surround of the Skirmish Skinks to pincushion these guys. Now, not the last hope, but the last real avenue to victory is for Svark to snipe out the Salon Mage Priest quickly, because then you can kill the Skinks with charging them down with Seekers or Svark himself. The Hellforge Bellowers can actually do a lot of damage over time, but they have to finish off these Cold One Cavalry, which are coming back into the fight as the Salon is terror routing. Svark gets hit after hit after hit on him, and the Angels of Decay are back in the fight, trying to buy a little bit of time, keep Svark safe, and the Hellforge Bellowers just waiting for all these mobile Cold One Cavalry to die. The Hellforge Bellowers can solo out the rest of the game by just kiting the Skinks away. Svark takes a lot of damage, but he's back in it. He knows he has to kill the Salon. He misses the next attack. Misses another one onto the Salon, cannot get a hit in onto the Salon to save his life, and to save his life is being very literal in this context. He is missing again and again. Throws a pink fire down the line just to get guaranteed Warped Flame out, but he is going to start crumbling soon. In comes a Flock of Doom as the Skinks continue to fire in. Their little darts very hard to see on the map, but Army losses hits as Svark completely fumbles the bag as he missed shot after shot after shot after shot on the Salon when he was needed most. 43 melee attack to 33 melee defense. Not exactly how it felt. GG. Checking in on stuff. For Sepa, his little Skink Skirmishers did great. Got lots of value, lots of value. And then his Cold One Riders and Cold One Cav, more if we're just holding things in place. Meh value, but they did okay. Soul Engine provided good support. Lon did well. For Alfredino, that honestly was a very, very close game until Svark just started missing out of nowhere. He missed 3 shots in a row on that Salon at the very end, and that was the end of him. When he dove in on the Salon, he hit like everything. I acknowledge that. It was just funny at the very end how he missed 3 in a row. Hellforge Bellowers didn't have much time to kite. Neither did the Angels of Decay, really. They didn't use a lot of their grenades. The Heartseekers, mixed value for them. I wonder if he somehow got the blind debuff from the Sun Gun. Maybe, but it didn't show on his stats. His stats still said he had 43 melee attack. GG. Tough start for France, 2-0. They're not out of it, but I will say when Alfredino loses, kind of like when Flying Taco loses, it's like, oh, well, that was supposed to be your free win, so now I'm very concerned. Persian Warrior, Loopy, and Catholic Alcoholic gonna have to 3-0 sweep back into this. I think Solisora is undefeated in this whole tournament so far. I don't think he's lost a domination game for the Swiss team, so... I am spooked. I am big spooked. Next up is Pigman versus Persian. There's a Slaanesh mirror. Interesting. Dark Elves, Tomb Kings. All right, on to game 4. Okay, so the Slaanesh mirror. Got it. Okay, so we're going on to the Slaanesh mirror. Got it. What is going on with Necropolis Knights? Why are people taking Necropolis Knights? These things are trash. They're trash. They're so bad. Why? Why? And people can tell me. They can argue with me all day. They can argue till they're blue in the face that actually Necropolis Knights are good, human boy. Actually, Necropolis Knights are amazing. I haven't seen them win ever. Maybe not ever, but not in the last like 3 months. I swear, people like Necropolis Knights is so good. Check out this replay, and the replay's them freaking losing again. Necropolis Knights are such trash. They're so expensive and they do nothing. He can't win. He literally can't. This build is impossible to win with. I said that about the Nurgle build, but then there was a bit of fumbling that happened and a little bit of misplays. But this build literally can't. Persian could play like a god. Persian could play like an amazing, perfect, awesome game, and he is still gonna lose because the Necropolis Knights suck. Okay. Okay, cool. I just realized I am 30 minutes away from a different tournament having to start, so I do have to ping the players and tell them that that tournament is happening. So I need 1 second to do a tournament thing. Very sorry. Very sorry. Sorry, I have to start a different tournament entirely. But everyone, not everyone, Ryder, Ryder. If you are playing today, please check in, or the site will drop you. Bum, ba-dum, bum. We start in 30 minutes. Okay. You guys once again have all of my focus. I apologize for having to start a different tournament. We're back. Did you ever think of Necropolis Knights sucking as part of the faction balance? True, then just don't take them. For the Dark Elves, we have the Crows of Cain, 2 Scourge Runner Chariots, a bunch of Witch Elves, and Cold One Knights. Very straightforward, just take all of the damagey pew-pew units. We also have Crone Hellebron with her Gaze of Cain, Heroic Healing Blow for some buffs, and then a Burning Head, Cascading Fire Cloak caster. What happens if they carry this game? I will eat my shoes. On the other side, for the Tomb Kings, we have 4 Skeleton Horse Archers, some Carrion, Skeleton Warriors and Skeleton Spearmen in the front line, Cetra the Imperishable on his Kitty Cat, and then triple regular Necropolis Knight, not halberds, though, I mean, I really can't criticize them not taking the halberds. I can't, that's fair. I can't be like, man, Necropolis Knight halberds suck. Why did you take Necropolis Knight's halberds? Whatever. Regular Necropolis Knights, we'll see what they can cook. They do have higher stats than the halberds, because the halberds are paying for anti-large too. We also have the Chosen the Gods, which are currently firing into Scourge Runner Chariots, doing pretty good damage to those guys. Anyone see the Demons of Cathlord was blinded with the Missile Salon 3 times in a row? No, I checked his stats and he still had 43 melee attack. Golden Knight's getting Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance, a very strong spell by Cetra, does a lot of damage to cavalry considering its cost, but he might be overextending a bit as Hellebron and the Cold Knights start to surround him. Now, they are doing the thing where the Cold Knights just walk alongside him. They don't have good animations for hitting stuff while it's moving, so he's not going to take any damage as long as he keeps moving. That is something I have brought up with CA, and I hope they fix soon. Carrion are holding the Crows of Cain in the sky for now. The Crows of Cain can just heal through that type of action. Cold Knights charge straight up. Witch Elves use their Witch's Brew, so they will churn through the Tomb King's front line with incredible speed as a Burning Head goes down the line, does a lot of damage to Skeleton Horse Archers and the Skeleton Spearmen, helping out the Cold Knights get through that side a lot. Crone Hellebron is slapping, and the Necropolis Knights are in. Third one is getting in soon, but they're almost all in. And that Necropolis Knight is getting chewed up. It needs an incantation of protection to save it from the Colden Knights who are buffed up by the Gaze of Cain with like 50 plus melee attack. Something is happening right now. Looks like we're getting the Ushapti summon out, but the Witch Elves have already gotten through all the skeletons. They're almost done with the Carrion, and they're almost done with the Necropolis Knights as they churn through. But the Necropolis Knights are having to retreat. Other Necropolis Knights having to retreat, and these Necropolis Knights are going to hold their ground. But when you take an expensive cavalry piece and it has to run away from the fight, I wonder what's the point of the cavalry piece? Oh, Chosen Gods getting hit in the back with the Crows of Cain. They did get through that Carrion, like we said, so now they're just this flying harassment piece as the Ushapti summon is out. Bleak Swords and the Firecaster slowly killing Skeleton Spearmen while Scourge Runner Chariots hit Cetra in the back as he attempts to run away. Dark Elves slightly up on the balance power. I think more than slightly, but I guess there is an Ushapti summon artificially inflating the balance power a bit, but I think the Tomb Kings are in really bad shape. Chosen the Gods have a lot of ammunition and health, but they're being forced to run. Necropolis Knights, all three of them low on HP. One might be dead. One is dead. Okay, so there's only two of them, and they're both low on HP. Skeleton Horse Archers are chilling. They are vibing. They have a lot of ammunition left on this lower side. On the top side, they had to be used as melee blockers for a bit. Cetra is still cycle charging. Now, the Dark Elves aren't steamrolling this game. They have two Cold One Knights that are almost dead for their efforts. A third one is also fleeing, so it looks like the Cold Knights are pretty much a spent force. That is a lot of anti-large armor piercing that's taken insane damage. Hellebron is trying to duel Cetra, and she is getting a good work out of it. We still have a lot of Witch Elves that are decently healthy, but without Cold One Knights, maybe the Tomb Kings can delay this out and get some good cycle charging in, but it looks like all the Necropolis Knights are dead as well, so it's not even like you can cycle charge with the Necropolis Knights now that the Cold Knights are taken care of. Chosen the Gods trying to kite away. They could get a lot of damage out onto the clustered infantry, but I honestly think the Scourge Runner Chariots... Yeah, okay, surrenders. Scourge Runner Chariots could run up to them and just shoot them as they run away. It could be pretty strong. Knights do damage, don't they? Are they bugged broken? I think it's a problem of their animations being terrible and their hitboxes being terrible, but also being overcosted. I feel like Necropolis Knights spend a lot of time just T-posing on stuff. Like, they'll get close to it and they'll cluster up and they'll just stare at you menacingly, but they don't swing that much. I don't know. None of them got good value. Cetra also got shut down. Skeleton Horse Archers did fine. Chosen Gods did okay. Persian did a good job keeping them alive. I just, like, super strongly disagree with taking Necropolis Knights, ever. And I feel like they just limited his build a lot. So then when the Colden Knights got onto them, the Colden Knights did a lot of damage and got through them. Scourge Runners didn't have too much to do, unfortunately. Switched to them cleaning up, damn. Yeah. Neutrals win. Neutrality is very powerful. Zap Brannigan tried to warn us. With your enemies, they know where they stand. The neutrals. That episode where Zap hates the neutrals is really funny. Alright, checking on some things. Okay. Okay. Tournament stuff done. Sorry. This is button up real close to another tournament. That is a 3-0 for Switz. Switz.
Just say Swiss or Switzerland. You can't just say Swiss.
Boom. Pigman with the 3-0. We do have 2 more games to cast. I have 25 minutes before I have to start another tournament. That is plenty of time. Olaf the Moose versus Loopy. Let's go! Let's go! This one. The Slaanesh Mirror. Bam! What up, Spencer Jack? What drives a man to neutrality? Wealth? Speed? That ship is about to crash right into us. I have no feelings on this whatsoever. Oh, sorry. Someone's saying an important thing. Sorry. Okay. Doesn't look like that needs my attention immediately. What are we doing? What is going on in here? Slaanesh Mirror. We have a Slaanesh box, which I didn't know was a thing. Devoted Marauders with Hell Scourges, some with Spears. We have Spawn of Slaanesh, a Mirror Guard, a Cultist of Slaanesh, and then a Herald with just Pavane. Thomas, do you know if there are any patches coming soon? I'm not allowed to disclose that type of information. On the other side, we have a more mobile Slaanesh that does not enjoy seeing a box. We have Fiends, we have Hellstriders, we have Seekers, and we have a couple Skirmish Cav, and of course, an Exalted Keeper of Secrets of Shadows, with Pit of Shades and Melkoth. It is Conquest, so one Slaanesh is going to take the point and sit in their little box as the other side saddles up. Well, now, even Slaanesh boxes against Slaanesh. Dude, it's true. Slaanesh can't handle blobs or boxes. I'm going to fast forward until something happens, just because I do have another tournament going on soon. Okay. Pit of Shades to knock these guys out of formation so they don't get charge defense or anything, and then the Seekers, the Fiends jump in and try and get a bit of impact damage. It doesn't really get too much damage. That was mostly the Pit of Shades, though. The other Seekers and Hellstriders try and form up. Green Slaanesh does have the point, and yeah, that's what you do. Rampage the Marauder Horsemen into you so that you take out some of the range that could kite you and then force them to engage you in melee. Spawn gonna run forward. As the Pavane almost kills them entirely. The Herald of Slaanesh has jumped in. Has a Lash of Slaanesh for another spell if they need it, but not gonna use it just yet. Just happy to push away those Marauder Horsemen that way. Slaanesh piling up on this top side. All cavalry all day. Hitting the Chaos Spawn and the Spears, but I mean, it's Chaos Spawn and Spears. Your cavalry's gonna have a bad time. Between Poison Sufferers, you can stack a few debuffs. And Exalted Demonettes for Charm. Yeah, you could have a lot of debuffs. Exalted Keeper of Shadows gets in here, throws down Seductive Glory, trying to snipe out the Herald of Slaanesh, which is very possible. The Herald of Slaanesh is quite squishy on foot and is demonic, but then the Keeper of Secrets actually doesn't want this anymore, tries to back out, gets surrounded by Chaos Spawn, and is getting slapped right now as the other red Slaaneshis try and come to her aid, help her out a little bit somewhere. She is taking a lot of damage, down to half HP already. Another Pit of Shades to try and secure an exit, knock those Spears out of the way so she can path out, but it's not the Spears that are the problem right now, it's the Chaos Spawn just getting in the way. Tries to get through these guys, is going to get rampaged back into the Spears just when you thought you got away. You get rampaged back in, but rampaged back out as the jank unit collision. She was trying to hit the Exalted, you know, the Herald of Slaanesh, but instead just ran around in circles. Seekers pile in from behind my screen, so that gave me a little bit of a jump scare as they fly in to fight the Spawn and whatnot. And the Cultist of Slaanesh, 25% charged up with that Mortis engine as the Green Fury summon comes out. The green box is holding quite well. Obviously, they've had the Conquest point this whole time, but they also have a significant lead on Balance of Power. Fiends and Hellstriders all taking a lot of damage. Exalted Keeper of Secrets is also very low. Really nothing going great for the red team. Pavane is a well-designed spell. Yeah, Pavane is pretty darn strong. I will say, before Slaanesh had access to Rampage that works in this current way, they were not even playable. Like, they were so terrible, it was laughable. But yeah, Rampage is annoying. Now, I would personally say give them some ranged options to punish blobs and boxes rather than make them even better if you don't blob and box, but hey, maybe that's just me. Slaanesh has always had problems with boxes. So Olaf's build worked exquisitely. And update the score. Switzerland 4-0. Will it be a clean sweep for the finals? Solisora has not dropped a game this entire tournament. The Catholic alcoholic and his dreaded Kislev might be able to pull out a dub. I do have to go back to the Total Tavern mod packs. Alright, we're booting back up. Oh no, stream dead, black screen. It's not, I'm just reloading the game. You people are silly. All right, final game of the day. We already know the Swiss won. Swiss are OP. Solisora back on the Beastmen have been quite popular for the domination final pick. Versus Catholic Alcoholic on the Wood Elves this time. In the Battle for Itza. Little small map. Little teeny tiny small map. What is the unit cap for CD trains? I believe 1. Stream, it's just the game is loading. That's all it is. The game is loading. Calm down. Okay. For the start, Solisora loading up a metric crap ton of chaff. A lot of Ungor Spearman herds, Gore herds, Zongors, Ungor Raiders, more Ungor herds, and spawns more Gore herds. So he wants all of the infantry to start this game out. Very Shamed Beast with Flock of Doom, a Doom Bull, and then Centigores. Really going to capture 3 points and just trying to hold. For the Wood Elves, they have a Glade Lord with Bravenoth Rayma on a dragon. And they have a Branch Wraith with Earthblood and Melkoths. Then a bunch of Dryads, Eternal Guard, Glade Guard. That's about it. We do have 1 Wildwood Ranger on the bottom. Both sides did spawn a lot of infantry to start out, though a Dragon Lord and another caster are definitely holding the Wood Elves back from having nearly as many people on the battlefield at once. Wasn't Solisora actually the first game played in real time? Yeah, but I cast top to bottom because otherwise it'd be confusing. He said, calm down, phrase that has traditionally worked. Quick, everyone panic. Dagroth, that's actually really funny. that was very nice. Alright, Beastmen have secured the triple cap. Wood Elves tried to contest point 2 for a little bit, but then they backed off. The Wood Elves have superior range. They want to get close enough to start shooting at you, but not so close they have to engage in melee. The Beastmen want to either fully commit to melee, or it looks like, apparently, back off and summon some more mobility. Summon some kind of push they can throw all at once and overwhelm the Wood Elves and get onto those archers. Because a long, grinding, undecided melee fight will not favor the Beastmen with 3 Wood Elf archers firing over the top. 4 Wood Elf archers firing over the top. Looks like they're going to cede points 2 and 3 while they build up for a bit.
Woeful tidings.
Woeful tidings.
One of your victory points. Take it back.
I refuse to take it back, you Zinchian old man. Can't tell me what to do. Gore herds fighting the Dryads. Ungor Spearman herds trying to get into the back line, but not quite able to get to the Glade Guards. More Dryads or Vanguard summoned straight into them. Really, because green is good. Green is good. We have had some teams submit their losses throughout the tournament. I tried to cast those, but now that we all know who wins, yeah, the semifinals, only the winners sent me the replays, and I was like, well, that is what it is. But we did, throughout the Faction War and the World Cup, we did get some losers replays sent in, and those do keep things a little spicy. Doom Bull is fighting on top of the Dryads, lowering their melee defense a little bit with his Dazed. The Beastmen have pushed up. These Ungor Raiders might end up in melee, though. Will be a bit of a whoopsie. If I Dryads and a Branch Wraith, other Ungor Raiders also end up in melee. But he's just trying to swarm them. Catholic Alcoholic is actually up on gold damage value by quite a lot. Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma does some Centigores as they charge around. Doom Bull still trying to push through the front line, but the Wood Elves are trading very nicely, damage value-wise. The Beastmen, I mean, they're just sheer numbers are slowly getting through in certain spots, but they're taking so much damage for doing it. And so far, the Archers have been largely safe. Now, one is having to run away from an Ungor Spearman herd. One is having to run away from a Doom Bull. That happens, but look at the damage they're inflicting on the Beastmen. One wild Ryder does get pushed away by Centigores and a Flock of Doom caster. Right off the edge of the map, too. The edge is right there. Maybe that's a good thing on domination. Maybe. The 2,000 HP wild Riders actually still have a lot of love left to give, so them going off map would be overall bad as more Wild Riders get summoned into the Wood Elf backline. Can quickly peel. Looks like the Beastmen infantry are all about to rout, so it is mostly trying to peel the Doom Bull, though they ignore him entirely and just take a frontal charge at the Centaurs. Full health versus 1/3. Obviously, they'll win that, though there is another Centaur offering a bit of support. Wood Elves kind of cleaning up. Solisora is catching up on damage value a little bit, but just looking around, I mean, they've secured point 2. The Wood Elves have. Got rid of some Centaurs. We have archers that are in melee and now need to retreat for a while. And they've mostly saved, yeah, all 4 of their Glade Guard actually still doing pretty well. Center fight went great for the Beastmen here. They push off the Wild Riders with 3 Centaurs and a Doom Bull versus 1 Wild Rider. I'm not shocked that went well. These archers do need some attack orders, I think, to focus down the Centaurs. Ravenoth Rainbow's out to net them in place and lower their missile resistance, I guess, if they had any. I guess. That's fine. Have you abandoned the Horned Rat? What is this, domination? We cast 4 land battles and conquests in a row. There's 1 domination game. It's okay. It's the World Cup. You gotta have all 3 game modes. You gotta. More cavalry vanguard summons into the Wood Elf backline to keep their Glade Guards safe as Centaurs and the Doom Bull try and take them out. Centaurs and Doom Bull getting a lot of damage. Solisora keeping that damage differential at about 1,000. Now, the Beastmen have had an uncontested point 1 this whole game. No one has tried to take that from anybody. Everybody's just focusing on the low ground fight. Seems pretty reasonable. Beastmen still shutting down those archers for now, and the Beastmen constantly summoning just cheap garbage and throwing it at the Wood Elves is attritioning them down. We can see the Wood Elves still have a decent hold on point 2, but over here point 3, like, they're just slowly getting ground down and pushed away. Beastmen have a lot of guys to either desummon or throw back into the fight. They're all looking pretty low. This Doom Bull backline disruption has been very annoying, and the Centaurs hitting Glade Riders and hitting Wild Riders and doing a lot of damage has also been pretty bad. Or the side of the Wood Elves. Another Flock of Doom is out, and that's something to remember. Flock of Doom does not count on damage value for some reason, so Solisora's main damaging spell is not counting, and he's at 1,000 gold damage difference, which probably means in reality he's actually maybe ahead on damage value. Ooh, nice breath attack in from the dragon. Half HP off those healthy Zongors. A lot of stuff is getting pushed off the map. Centaurs might rally, but they should have, but they didn't. They had positive leadership all the way off the map. Doom Bull is fighting a Branch Wraith and a bunch of Eternal Guard. I'm kind of surprised the dragon hasn't landed on this guy yet, especially considering the terrible situation he's in. It looks like he is going to now. Depleting the Beastman leadership is pretty good. Not as crushing as it is on land battles, but it is still pretty good. Nice Arrow of Kuranos to poke down the Beastcaster a little bit, but you do need to land on this Doom Bull and knock him out for real. It looks like you are finally going to do that. Blade Lord, decent melee stats, but mostly looking for that dragon armor piercing. You gonna do anything, bro? You just gonna T-pose? What's this about? Get in there! Finish him! Ravenoth Rainbow nets him in place, but still the dragon is not getting much done just yet. There we go. Now getting some good chops. Once again, Catholic Alcoholic is starting to pull ahead on the balance of power, starting to regain some of that distance. The Beastmen are full pushing through here. The Wood Elf front line has fallen apart, and they need to start summoning some more infantry soon. They've summoned, you know, cavalry over and over and over again, but slowly the Beastmen infantry are pushing up. The Doom Bull is about to die, and that is the Wood Elf's way to hold on to this game. Kill off the caster, kill off the Doom Bull, and then just start summoning infantry. And with your Dragon Lord and your caster, you can pretty easily attrition these guys out. The War Dancers try and ignore the Beast caster. Doom Bull is down to 500 HP. Just have the dragon chase him. With her arrows and her charge attacks in the rear, she should be able to knock him out for real. Branch Wraith catches the Bray Shaman of Beasts, and this is a pretty bad situation for the Beastmen to be in. Now, they do have a triple cap currently, so you might be like, bad situation, you're stupid and dumb. I mean, fair, I am kind of stupid and dumb. But also, the Wood Elves could come back from this with just being spooky. Because look how many of the Beastmen flags on the field are fraudulent. Like, if their Lord was dead, they wouldn't even be functional units. The Glade Lord got up in the sky and just kind of vibed for a second. I don't know what that was about, but she needs to finish killing this Doom Bull. There we go, an arrow takes him out. So no more Lord, and now you can see the fraudulent units starting to fade away. They're trying to desummon before they rout, but some of them are routing anyway. A lot of desummons coming through. So the Beastmen getting a lot of value back. You can see all these archers are routing off. The Bray Shaman of Beasts is routing off. So this is what we were looking for. Wood Elves did try and pull something cheeky on the top side. One Eternal Guard did run out at point 1, but the Beastmen rallied fast enough to take it back. So, Solisora currently has a triple cap. Very, very strong, obviously. He's getting a lot of tickets, obviously. But this is the point where the Wood Elves can start to come back in this game. The Beastman leadership has entirely crumbled, and now for real units that are on the battlefield, you have a wounded Tuskor Chariot, 2 healthy Centaurs, and 2 healthy Ungor Spearman Herds. That's about it. For you, you have a full health Dragon, a full health Branch Wraith, some Eternal Guard. But that War Dancer got crushed by the Tuskor Chariots. That is going to be difficult. A lot of your power is in these single entities, which while they're spooky, they can't capture worth a darn. Centaurs get a good charge onto a Guard Rider of the Glades. You know what it is. Glade Rider takes a lot of damage. Still have a Dryad. It's looking like Soli just has too much battlefield presence, though. And again, the gold damage value is a little fraudulent because all the Flock of Dooms don't count. I do think the Wood Elves are actually up on damage value a little bit. It's just in this position right now, they have too much value stacked up in expensive units that can't take your points. We even summon a Wild Rider. He's really trying to get full damage presence on the battlefield, but I don't know if he's going to be able to summon enough stuff to capture things after that. Like, this Wild Rider charge is going to be sick. Onto the Razorgors, onto the Centaurs, it should do well. It should kill out this area, especially with a terror-causing dragon in the fight, getting rid of these guys, right? Cool. What's going to capture anything? Is the Beastmen throw some cheap garbage at point 3 to stop the Branch Wraith from capturing it? They have point 1. You need a triple cap to win. You're maybe going to take point 2, but I don't think you take point 1, point 3 fast enough to turn this game around. Try hard siege would be such a pain. Yeah. Okay, he's catching up on chat for a second. Point 2 is held by the Beastmen still, as they summon in Centaurs. The Beastmen are a spent force. If this game went on into forever, the Wood Elves would win. But it's not going on into forever. It is on a very finite timer. So the Wood Elves a guaranteed win if they had more time. It's just, does that matter? Here, they're throwing a bunch of super wounded units at the point, terror routing off all of the Beastman units. The Brace Shamed Beast gets resummoned, which is interesting. I mean, Flock of Doom is a good spell. I appreciate that. Dryad's trying to capture the point from these Ungor Spearman herds, and they slowly will take the point. You really need... There we go. We got point 2, so at least not a triple cap anymore. Oh, no. Sorry, the Beastmen are... Yeah, okay. The Wood Elves finally stop it, so now it's not a triple cap. But you only have 25 seconds left to turn this game around. The Beastmen secure point 3 by summoning more stuff and just physically pushing the Branch Wraith away. Point 1 is getting contested by the Dryads, but we have a Zongor running up to it. There's not enough time. It looks like the Beastmen will win on the capture points as the Wood Elves are pushing them back, are slowly gaining momentum, but too slow. We're not able to get there in time. And time is out.
I knew it.
Catholic Alcoholic put up a noble fight, but it will be a 5-0 sweep for the finals. 3-2, 3-2 for the semifinals, but then the finals, bam, 5-0, Swiss putting their foot down. Let's hit that like button so we can push Hubby into the algorithm. Nah, dude. Nah, fam. Ain't gonna be that way. There is the end of our sweaty tryhard tournament. I am breezing through the values here, not talking too much about that because I have 5 minutes before I have to start another tournament. And I do want to kind of close out this tournament in general, right? Right. So let's get back to the bracket real quick. I'm not going to update the scorecard because you all know what it is. Let's go to desktop. Bam, bam, bam. Give Solisora's win. That is a 5-0 sweep from Switzerland. Bring up the bracket. Boom, 5-0. Switzerland to win the prize. Their prize is a piece of art done in the form of like our faction wars. I'll ask the Swiss team. I mean, some of them are in chat. Swiss team, if you can get together and figure out who your favorite character is or whatever, preferably from Warhammer, but it can be from anything, I guess. Soft prefer on Warhammer. All I need is that character waving the Swiss flag. When you decide it, I'll get you in contact with our artist who does a lot of our work. He's currently working with Flying Taco on the Faction War Finals thing. But he'll be done with that soon enough, and we'll get your prize up. Otherwise, it was just for the honor of Switzerland being the best nation in the Total Warhammer 3 world. Good job, Switzerland. You had a long run. You did get a bye round, but you apparently deserved it, as you did end up winning the whole tournament. Thanks to everybody who played it was a very fun tournament. It went from January 2nd to February 12th is the final time we cast it. So it did take over a month, but it seems like people had fun. You had to play one match per week, 5 weeks. That's how it lasted so long. Right. People seem to enjoy it. Thanks for playing, everybody. Mostly got our games done on time. Mostly stayed in there. Right. Good job, Swiss. It was fun. It was stressful. Now with the faction war done, and with the World Cup done, we have some more tryhard content coming. But if you are interested in not seeing the most sweaty, the most tryhard factions all the time, in 30 minutes, we do have a stream coming up for a new player tournament, where new players tend to bring some pretty wild shit. Partially because of what I talked about earlier in the stream, where especially new players don't know every faction in the game. So if you join tournaments and maybe you only play Norska, that's all you play. You're just going to play Norska, even though they're not the strongest faction. The fact that you literally know how to play them and you don't know what other units do on other rosters, then you're just going to play Norska. Or you don't have the DLCs, right? Like trying to play Tzeentch without the Shadows of Change or the Champions of Chaos DLCs. Good luck, right? So new players tend to play a more diverse faction pool because they don't have as many factions in their back pocket. That's coming up in 30 minutes. I will link and rate us there. Once again, thanks to everybody who played in the World Cup, and congratulations to the Swiss team. Let's fucking go. Wow, I said I'd stop swearing. Oh. Well, not swearing, just getting rid of the harsher stuff, which I think I did pretty good this tournament. A lot less F-bombs. A lot less. Did good. Gonna check in on chat, then I'm gonna raid myself. Great job, great tourney. FFA World Cup now, easy. Permission to extend permanently open date to the 18th. Black Knight DM me about that. That feels like a DM thing. Okay, I'm gonna raid myself. Edit, customize, redirect to my own thing. Wow. Bye, see you there. That starts in half an hour. The tournament starts in 1 minute, but I give myself 30 minutes to go grab lunch and gather replays. So, goodbye.